What happened there? Every time I press a button. Welcome to Bandit's Keep. We're continuing our long-running Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea campaign. Took a few weeks off, but in game time, we have jumped forward a little more than a year. The year in Hyperborea being about 13 months. So we are now currently in the 10th year, which is in the fall, actually. And it is the 13th month. The party, after leaving the Lemurian Remnant with quite a bit of loot, maybe a bit of a bad taste in their mouth from some of the stuff that went down, some losses of friends, but gains of lots of treasure, had picked up a merchant ship, and also the investment that Panesta had made came out very successful. So started a bit of a merchant fleet of doing some trading with some silks and other goods from Khromarium, where they moved back to and have stayed for the past year, roughly, going out occasionally on some short adventures. But they have decided to travel up to the Gaal hills, specifically the city of Gaal, to make trade deals and also to seek out Elder Eunuch, who was the mentor of Sorka, who happened to die in the Lemurian Remnant. They found her diary in their stuff and realized that she wanted this diary returned to her mentor. So they have headed up into the very, very cold Gaal Hills. After spending some time there and meeting with the druid, they were asked to head deeper into Hyperborea to the small town of Dunwich, who the druid has sworn protectorate of, and who is having some trouble with with some raiding. So, about a week or so ago, the area was raided by some vermis. Vermis he describes them as humanoids. They're covered in hair, typically considered more animal intelligence than anything else, and generally shun away from people and run when they see them, sometimes throwing stones to ward away people, but certainly not considered violent. But the word came to him that there was an attack on the town. Not only did they kill several people, but also they drug away some of the men. And when the hunters who had been out, and of course were pretty upset that they weren't there to defend their people, went out after these the Hermes, I think is how you say it. I'm just going to call them Hermes because there's a V. I don't know if it's silent. The Hermes. When they went out after the Hermes, they never returned. So the town or hamlet, if you will, of Dunwich is now kind of unprotected and it seems to be in danger of being raided. So as we begin, the party is headed towards Dunwich through the Gaal Hills. It's several days of travel through the frigid cold, and as we come into this this first day of the 13th month of the 10th year, it is roughly minus 15 degrees with harsh winds coming off the mountains. And we'll come through. We can intro the characters, maybe tell us a little bit of what you guys did. There are some new characters who have joined the party after the last session. There was a pretty terrible fight with the snake god that eliminated some of the characters. So we have some players bringing in new characters. So I'm just going to. We'll start with all the new characters first. So I'm going to start with Crystal. Tell us about your character.
In the city of Khromarium, there are a couple of merchant families. One of the older families are known as the Kixelos. They currently have 4 children, 3 sons and a daughter. Callista, who is currently with the party, having heard tales from the bard known as Panesta and the great adventures that she had been through. She sought her out for means of her own, and has since joined with the party. She is riding on a horse. She has two people following her. A young girl who is her link girl named Zutilia, and a little further back, carrying a cage with him, and he has it kind of like wrapped in a blanket. Is Vomor, who is the pack handler, and Callister herself is, slightly complaining about the cold. She's kind of been a complainer over the past few days. And that's Callister.
Excellent. Nothing like being a complainer to make people want you to join the party. Oh. Rush, tell us about your character.
So I am playing Bale, who was is a warrior, was once a member of a mercenary group known as the Red Riders, and he was doing well. He had mastered the use of the Great Hammer and found particular. He was particularly adept at unhorsing men as they came near him with great blows from his great hammer, and they rode out at some point a few months back and fought what turns out to be essentially a private war. One nobleman hires a group of mercenaries to take care of his rivals, and where the money's good, you do what you're told. So unfortunately, it did not go well for the Red Riders, and they were slain almost to a man. It was Bale and one other who lived, and his compatriot decided to board a ship and head back for his homelands, whereas Bale had no such desires, so he stayed around in Gaul. And in doing so, a ship came in one day, which carried upon it two beautiful red-headed women, one of which was tall and amazing with a spear, the other one a fantastic singer of songs and poetry. And Bale was immediately took a liking to poetry, and he's a huge fan of good song and good drink. And he sort of fell in with them, introduced himself, and being short on coin, he offered his services of strong hands to help with their business ventures, and his hammer to help with anything else that might be needed. And so he now serves the one known as Brighild and Penesta, and of course I think it's the hunter Muda, and the other two that have also joined in recently, and that is Bale, the warrior.
Excellent. Ooh, excellent. All right, good. So Bale has joined the group. Like Bale, we have Basil. Although a much longer name, I guess. Tell us about your character, Young.
So Basil, that's how his name should be pronounced. Basil. You see riding a light horse at Vanguard is a heavily armored cataphract in heavy fur to keep himself from being frozen to death in this very cold climes. And following him are 4 attendants, and 2 of them seem to be heavy cavalrymen, and one of them is riding a light war horse, and that fella is clad in heavy armor. It seems like he's normally a heavy infantryman, but he's just riding the horse to follow along. And bringing up the rear is his, let's see, his porter, basically a shield bearer. And so he's followed by 4 of these guys. The way that they met is Basil used to be a veteran cavalryman from Khromarium, city guard, who once served alongside his friend Tulok the Ranger. He has befriended Penesta and Brighild after they delivered the late Ranger's journal and snow goggle to him. And as far as Basil, he's a perfectly ordinary man in all measure, save for his keen ability, keen agility, I'm sorry. And he's an adept swordsman, but he's primarily an archer who specializes in combat maneuver he calls ride-by shooting. Basil is a Amazonian male. He's got black hair, blue eyes, and he stands about 5 feet 8 inches tall. And the most unforgettable feature about Basil is his incredibly thick eyebrows. So you see him and you know it's Basil because like 1/3 of his forehead is covered in eyebrows. So that's Basil.
Drop off Zoom. Excellent. Well, there's nothing wrong with big eyebrows. So, all right. So that's all the new characters, right? So let's roll back. We'll introduce the rest. So, Tony, tell us about Breakfield.
A passage of a year's time can really change someone in more ways than you can imagine. Physically, the warlock known as Brighild the Imposing, it would seem her hair is beginning to change from the blonde that she's been known for to shades of more of a reddish blonde. Some have asked her if she has colored it or put something in it, and she laughs and says, No, I've not done anything to my hair. It's just naturally turning to more of a red. She's beginning to form into the young woman that she's becoming. Mentally, Brighild struggles with losing her friend Lachlan and losing some of the others that they have lost. And she sees the 2 new people with their entourage of valets and persons to help them. And she just thinks to herself, everyone that has brought people along with them, they always die. I mean, why do they bring these people? These people are just too much for what we do. And she's worried about if the heavily armored one will be the first to go down, or if the new seems to be, in her mind right now, a person that's a little bit too rich in nature to be out with them, coming from an established family. But she knows she will do the best she can to hopefully try to protect them and protect herself, and of course her longtime friend Penesta. At this point, she's definitely keeping an eye on Bale, seeing that sometimes he comes across as a little too flirty and likes to show off his axe with his hammer, of course. But she always says, I was trained by a monk to strengthen my body. She taught me many things, and I have strengthened myself quite a bit this past year physically, but my main fighting comes from my intelligence. And you would have known Brighild has been doing a bunch of studying this past year. So she's ready to see where this new road leads, and hopefully that they all will return from this new landing there at Gaul. That is Brighild the Imposing, the warlock.
Excellent. And well, coming all the way from the Lemurian Remnant, Mike, tell us about Muda.
Yeah, Muda is feeling like the sore thumb in this new and strange land. He's getting used to the different ways of this new continent. He has taken up horse riding, which was strange to him at first. He has learned to adapt his styles a bit. First being able to fight nearly naked. Now he has learned to adapt how to fight with some of his weapons being a little more extra padded. He's also learned to have how to use a weapon on horseback, although not as good as perhaps some of the others. But he has seen the value of being able to fight from a horse. Although he prefers being on the ground, and he would rather be in the confines of a building. He's getting better at this wilderness thing, particularly with his comrades. He's a little more comfortable with everybody and prefers to keep to himself. He knows that they think that he is odd and strange. As long as he tries, he has his practices and his meditations that he sees to. And he is up promptly in the morning. He tries to be the first up as to not to bother others. But he believes he has a fondness for some of the older members, knowing what they have gone through, and has a careful eye on some of the newer ones. But he's overall, he relies on Rel and believes that this will be good fortune for everyone, albeit cold. He's layered up in furs and padded clothing, but he knows this will be a great adventure.
Indeed. And kind of last but not least, Nikki, tell us about your character.
I play Pinesta, bard extraordinaire, and burner of cities and now slayer of snake gods. So she is a little subdued for a while after losing more friends. She's lost almost all of her adventuring friends in one way or another. But when she got back to Khromarium, she took up with a senior bard for a while and did some studying with him. And a little bit more too. Had a little relationship with him. And she learned an extra spell, and she also gained a new spell because she's now level 7. And in addition to that, she kind of shepherded her new investment as now she's somehow a cloth merchant in Khromarium. So she's been dealing with that as well, getting that kind of settled. And now she's ready for a new adventure with these new friends that she has made. And that's Pinesta, the bard.
Excellent. Yes. Well, everyone needs silk, but they just didn't know they needed it until it became readily available. So the silk business is doing well as you're expanding out here. So as I said, you guys came into Gull, with 2 things in mind. One was to meet up with the mentor of Sorka and return the journal, and one was to establish business. The druid being a major or the major religious figure in this general area, has offered the party, not that such a great party would ever need any kind of enticing, but offered the party essentially a land share in a warehouse that's in Gal. So it's very useful to the business, to you as well, doing the favor. So why not get what you can? And as you're heading out, as I said, to the city of Dunwich, or the town of Dunwich, with the hamlet of Dunwich. It's a village. It says so. It's the you're looking at snow, uh, flat land, wind, pretty much unpleasant business. But as you are kind of getting closer, you would imagine, based on what you've been told, you see a couple of riders, men, uh, clearly Celtic by the way that they are garbed, riding out on light horses to greet your party. They're bearing light lances in their hands. You see bows strung across their back and quivers in the saddle as they ride closer.
Basil
They
raises
stop.
his hand. Oh,
Go ahead.
sorry. Yeah, he raises his hand and says, "Hail, my friends."
Yep. Okay, right. So perfect. Right. That's exactly. So they stop out about maybe like 20, 30 yards away and raise a hand and they say, are you those the druid said would come?
Indeed, we are. We are the party of Penesta and Brighild, sent by the druid.
Ah, I am Malvek. We appreciate you coming. Please come, get warm. It's been a long travel. Let us tell you our story, and hopefully you will be able to help us. And he kind of stops. He sits there and waits till the party catches up. And being that you were the first one to start speaking, Basil, he just kind of assumes that you're in charge. And he rides next to you and he says, the three elders, Finn, Ulsar, and Cooley, will be hesitant to ask for help. You know how old men can be. But if the village is inflicted with another of these attacks, I'm not sure what we could do to defend ourselves. It seems that most of the men capable of using weapons such as these, and he kind of, he points at his weapon, your weapon, have gone out 3 days ago and have not returned.
I see. The druid has told us about the Hermus. I know very little about these creatures. Perhaps you could tell us a little more.
Yes. And he'll say this loud enough so that everybody can kind of hear, so everybody wants to chime in. Well, they are typically at a distance of 100 yards. You would think there was a man covered in furs, but up close you can see their face, though human-like, bear fangs, their hands, claws, and their bodies covered in a fur, an orange fur. Some, he spits on the ground, like freezes before it hits the ground, strip the fur and skin from these creatures and wear it. City dwellers, and he spits again, says, I believe the merchant, Samaros, brought this upon us by offering a fee for every skin collected. I've lived my whole life, and you look at him, he's like 16. I've lived my whole life here, and never have the Raras bothered us.
Yeah, Basil being about 25, he looks at him, being a little teenager, and says, "Oh, your entire life, I see. Well, wisdom shines through your words, my friend." And he says, "Do any of your villagers wear the skin of this creature?"
No,
That is good to know.
none from our village would make such a deal. While the creatures are clearly animal, they are not wholly animal, and to slay one for its skin would be sickening. But other villages and those who call themselves adventurers do not seem to have such qualms.
And how much does one get for one of these pelts?
Well, I imagine they must sell for thousands of gold, as the as the merchant was offering 500 pieces of gold per pelt.
Wow. That's a
Whatever happened to the
considerable
merchant?
amount.
Ah, the merchant? Oh, he is in the inn, too scared to leave his room, pissing in a barrel rather than come out and face the wrath of the village.
Brighild has been listening intently to what this young man has told him, and she goes, "What is the origin of these creatures? You say they somewhat resemble us, but did they have some curse befell upon them years ago that transformed them, or where do these creatures come from?"
Well, there are many stories. I do not believe that they are cursed. I think they are just simple beasts. We were taught just to leave them alone, and if they showed aggression, to move away. As I've probably said, never have they attacked, especially not a full village. An individual hunter lost, turns up dead once in a while, could be killed by them, but could be killed by a bear, a wolf, or a tiger.
Do they
What do you-
resemble a tiger or a bear, perhaps, in their appearance? The way they look?
No, they look like men.
What do you know about their intelligence? Do they have intelligence such as we, or are they more bestial?
They speak no language known to men. They hoot and growl, but they do work together as packs, but so do wolves. That being said, they use tools as men. And sometimes weapons. And that's a strange thing. They generally use, if weapons at all, they use clubs or pieces of stone. These creatures seem to have come in and stripped weapons away from men, swords and axes, and also, and then you hear another voice, it's two guys. The other guy turns and he says, "Don't forget the jewelry." And he says, "Ah, yes," and they stole some stone from the jeweler. Very
Oh,
strange.
perhaps they like shiny things.
Smiles. He says, "I know not of that. Jewels are not something I can afford, but you could speak with the jeweler." Panesta, you could actually, anybody can roll a d6. If they get a 1, I'll give you some more info, but Panesta, I'll give you 3 and 6 being a bard.
Okay.
Because you're not from you're from Khromarium, right? Nobody's from the Gaul, right?
Right.
Okay.
6. Oh, yeah. Rolled a 1.
Oh, there you go. Oh yeah, you did extra credit project on these guys in second grade. So right, they are, from what you understand, this is a race that kind of was growing, kind of evolving, if you will, with man, kind of almost simultaneously. And at some point during their history, it's kind of unknown as to what happened. They mostly, when the Hyperboreans took over, they kind of retreated back into the mountains. And it seems like they've after that regressed into savagery. But there's ancient tales of actual like palaces and proper construction and stuff deep in the mountains that were formed by them in the early parts of their age. But you're talking like eons ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would tell this to the party.
So are these like the Apemen of Lemuria?
Well, from the stories that you tell me, Muda, it sounds very much like them nowadays. But from what Panessa says, they must be responsible for this great civilization that they had back then.
That is the Dolores.
Let's see. I'll give you some descriptive stuff here. I want to make sure there's nothing here that I can't tell you. Okay, yeah, don't forget all that. So, they are a degenerate race of quasi-men. That's basically how they're described. They stand somewhere around 6 feet tall, so they're bipedal. They're covered in shaggy umber-colored fur. Their faces are typically fur-hedged, like those of baboons, except for they have kind of more of a human look to them. They typically have bright blue eyes and ruddy skin, pointed ears, and use primitive weapons, as I mentioned already. And they communicate through barking and howling. So yeah, they don't have any kind of language, and are basically they're kind of like primitive men. And in fact, well, as far as because with the ape men, you would know, or the monkey men rather, you know that they actually you can learn their language. Like they have an actual language that people can learn to speak on some level. Nobody knows, maybe through lack of trying, who knows? But nobody knows the language of the Hermas or the Hermas, the beast men. Call them. So yeah, so they ride you into the town. Um, and you are brought to the kind of inn slash town. I mean, it's a small town; it doesn't actually have an inn proper, but it's got like a like a tavern ish area, like a place where people gather, where food is cooked and stuff. Oftentimes in groups. I mean, 200 people is not tiny. So there is like a hall essentially where they do have some space where you can rent, and actually the man tells you, Mavic tells you that the merchant there with the furs, Samaras, is being, he basically has a private room in the back. So essentially, he's paying the innkeeper good gold to basically keep him safe. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And the
Oh,
other person, just because I didn't, the jeweler is named Olav.
Love the jeweler.
Yeah. So, and of course, once you're there, I mean, you kind of get your horses parked or whatever. You basically, with all your henchmen and stuff, you guys have more people in the entire village. But you get all your stuff parked, and you get inside, and they of course they offer you drink and to warm by the fire. And after a little bit, as you're kind of getting settled in, everybody kind of like stops and kind of stands up, like as these three old men kind of come in, and they introduce themselves as Finn, Ulster, and Cooley, the village elders. And they kind of come around, and you guys are kind of sitting by the fire. They come and kind of, some younger people come over and like move a bench so they can sit down, and they, with their canes, they like sit down on the thing. And the one in the center, who introduced himself as Ulster, says, "The druid has sent word that you would come to the village uh, to look into the problem with the men of the mountains who have come and taken from us our warriors."
Yes. We've come to see what we can do to help.
And that says, "We are a poor village. There's not much that we could offer."
When lives are at stake, I suppose we would be willing to take less in rewards. Saving life in itself is a reward.
Mhm. He nods. He says, "Well, we could offer 6 musk ox now, and another dozen uh, in a year's time."
I have a background as a merchant. Would I know if that would be worth a lot for muskox?
You would know that it'd be worth a lot for them.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, they're very poor. Where you could sell them and make money. They're not worth a lot now. I mean, you can look up the book, whatever they cost. I actually have no idea what they cost. I don't think they're particularly expensive now. So it's not. It's maybe a couple hundred gold pieces, I would imagine.
Callista will like slightly mention this, like just kind of offhand, just trying to let everyone know, like, ooh, 6 month box. That'd be a lot for them to spare.
Too much for them? They're already poor.
I suppose that's for you to decide.
What do you think, Brighild?
She stands and crosses her arms, and she's listened to what Callista has said and nods, and she looks at Panesta and goes, I think the offer these fair folk have made is more than enough. I mean, they have offered something that will take away from their livelihood, and as long as they keep providing food and drink for us too, I think that is more than enough. And as the good armored one has said, sometimes it's best to do what we can to protect life.
I agree.
He nods. Says, they listen to you, and then says, "We appreciate your help. It's not it's not too long ago that I would have. And I mean, this guy's like pretty ancient. That I would have picked up a sword and went myself, but unfortunately, my wife would never allow that now."
So tell me, my friend, how many of your warriors have gone missing?
He kind of gets a frown on his face. He says, "Most of them." Exactly how many right now? 12.
Did they all go the same direction?
Yes, they came out. They came back from the hunt after having to spend the night because of the storm. Unusual rains this time of year. But yeah, they
What do
came
you,
back and saw what would happen and ran off in anger. They did not listen to counsel. They left behind the young ones, and he lifts his head up, kind of behind him because he knows they're back there, and you see standing in the doorway Malvik and a couple other kind of younger, you know, basically teenagers, although not that much younger than you. And he says they left them, the younger men, and took weapons and went immediately out.
what do you mean by unusual storms? Or there something more than natural about them, or you just mean that for this time of the year?
For this time of year, it's unusual for it to rain. Typically, we get the snow, but it was rain, so the paths became muddy, and rain mixed with the ice is quite dangerous to travel. So they camped out and waited for it to freeze up.
Pardon the directness and seriousness of this question, but there has been no bodies found of these missing hunters and warriors.
No, in fact, when the town was attacked the day before they returned, those warriors that fought and were dropped and slain were dragged away, as well as two of the humorists who were also uh, taken down or stabbed through the heart, thought to be dead. They were dragged away. That's very unusual for them to take their fellows.
You say it rained. It didn't sleet or snow. How cold was it outside when these rains happened?
Oh, it was Warmer than it is now. It was almost well, I wouldn't say a spring-like day. But it's rare for the rains to come this time of year. Strange. Perhaps an omen. Kind of stares past you.
Certainly is troublesome. And you said we were told that these men are stealing jewelry or stole from the jeweler, and they've also stripped weapons, which is unusual for them.
Yes, they took the weapons from men that they brought down, and as I said, brought the bodies. That's very unusual. The jeweler did say that a cart of raw corundum was taken. Olaf. You should speak with him. Olaf, he'll know more, but they took a cart of that's actually how that's actually how the men knew to follow. They followed the cart tracks. Deep ruts in the ground from the rain. Strange. They took nothing, no food, no other goods, just weapons and the corundum.
No other food.
What is this corundum you speak of?
Oh, the jeweler. He digs it from the earth, some miles from here, and uses it in his work somehow to sell to the merchants who come through. It's one of the few trade items that we have here, and Olav is generous with his money.
Are they
Brickyard
ore?
is
Are they ore or are they gems?
This guy, he doesn't know. I mean, he doesn't. He's not. You can tell he's not super familiar with what it is, how it works. He just knows the jeweler.
I see.
It's used in making the jewelry, and he says he also sells it to merchants, not in smaller quantities. He sells it to other merchants as well. That's all they know. You'll have to speak with Olaf. I mean, they can get him. Or unless you want to
Brickyard is
speak
going to look towards Panesta and go, maybe some of us should speak to this man of the gems, and part of us should go talk to this merchant who appears to be in hiding. Calesta, you have background in merchants and business such. Maybe it would be best you speak to him.
Yes, no problem. I'll go speak with the gentleman.
Yes. Would you like to speak with the jeweler, Brickhild?
Yes, Muda, why don't you go with Calesta in case the merchant, needs reinforcement of losing his tongue to us.
Oh, I can loosen his tongue. He just smiles broadly.
Bale chuckles a little bit.
I'll stay here and listen to the elder in terms of what went down during the battle when these creatures attacked. If that's okay with you.
That's fine with me.
Calesta will look to her hirelings that follow her. She'll say, Zutulia, I want you with me. But Vilmore, you may stay here.
Okay, so you guys are splitting up. But so you're gonna head out. Who's heading out to the jeweler? Let's do the jeweler first since I'm on that page.
Panesta.
You mean Panesta, I believe.
Yep.
Okay.
Bale would speak
Yeah.
up and say, do you ladies wish company?
Why don't you stay here with the heavily armored one in case he needs help in telling war stories?
He just kind of nods and plops himself down on a stool.
Yep. They
Yes,
serve you some
Bale.
more wine heated up.
Bale,
Yes.
your wisdom would be greatly appreciated in coming up with a strategy as we deal with these creatures, Hermes.
I'm not. Bale is not much for strategy. I simply they point me to the bad guys and turn me loose.
He
But-
nods.
But I will sit with you nonetheless.
He nods and says, you sell yourself short, my friend.
Well, I am what I am.
Well, we appreciate you for what you are, Bale.
He just kind of
What I am.
nods, crosses his legs, lays his hammer across his lap, and pulls out a piece of jerky.
Nice. Yeah, they're bringing you, food or whatever. As this is being happening, breads and such.
Oh,
It's the
okay.
winter, so they definitely they are servicing you as best they can. All right, good. Yeah, so you guys are there. Well, like I said, we'll jump to the jeweler because I have that page open. So, yeah, so they tell you where it is. This is a small village, like I said. The villages was a little over 200 people. Of course, in these attacks, they've lost nearly 40 people between the people being drug off and the people went out to get them. So that's a big chunk of the village. So you head out down to the shop of Olav, and this is not a jeweler as you might think, is from Khromarium or something like that, where he's like a jewelry shop. It's literally just a house, and when you knock upon the door, he and the man opens it. He's a he's a small bent back man, so he's old, I guess. He kind of looks at you and he just kind of opens the door. He looks at you. He nods, and then he just like turns around and walks in. And you can see that it's a small place. He's got some grinding wheels and various little implements to obviously to like pliers and such to make jewelry or to adjust it. He's got lots of cloths, and you get smells of kind of like a soft smell of like oil in there. And he's got a hearth burning with a pot on it, kind of bubbling, and you can smell kind of what smells like maybe like meat, cooking in a stew. He just kind of walks in and sits down. He kind of walks in, turns around, sits down at the table, and looks at you, assuming that you followed him. If you didn't, if you're still standing in the door, he will wave you in.
Yeah, Brickhill will walk in and address him. You may call me Brickhill, and this is my friend Panesta. We have come to your village to assist you in the dire matters that it would seem is taken over your village. The elders said that maybe we could speak to you about what knowledge you would have. We understood that you had a cart of some type of substance that you used that was taken.
Yes, that's right. It's strange. I had these two sapphires sitting right here. And he picks up a cloth that he like a raggedy, like an oily cloth that's sitting on the table. He lifts it up, and there's two pretty large sapphires. I was polishing them when the beast came in, knocked me. Oh, this has happened when I was younger. They knocked me on my, well, uh, you know. In any case, they hooted and howled and grabbed the barrel of Grundum, dragged it away. Doesn't have much value. They could have dug it out of the ground themselves. I don't understand. It's so strange.
Would you be kind enough to explain to myself and my friend here exactly what that substance is used for, as we are not familiar with it from where we come?
Oh, yes, of course. Well, with enough love and care, corundum can be used to create such beauties as this. And he points at the sapphire. But it takes months of work to do such a thing. The sapphires themselves are much more valuable. I also sell it to many merchants. They use it to create polish. It's a kind of an abrasive substance. used for sanding and polishing. Some blacksmiths use it to polish up their blades, or some armor makers, and various other tradesmen.
Well, these beasts, from what I've been told, are supposedly of low intelligence.
Mhm.
Of course, the intelligence like we have. So, what use would they have of it? Do you have any ideas from living here all your life of what you would know?
Well, you know what's strange? Well, yeah, yes, I have been there all my life. I'm very observant. Well, I've been mining out of that hole in the ground uh, from 10 years, and never have they. I've seen these creatures, but they usually just look and then run away. The Fomorians, though, oh, many a time I had to make a dash when I heard them lumbering through the forest. But you know what was unusual? And I've not seen this before. They were wearing some kind of jeweled headbands. Of it was hard to see, in my position, but they seemed to be sparkling in various different colors. Most unusual.
Did all of these beasts have one?
Well, all I don't know. The two that came into the shop, they did. They were circlets upon their brow, uh, with bright colors. It seemed like as the light was flickering in the room, it seemed they were changing colors, or various colored gems, for blue and red and orange, green, even blue, which is strange by firelight. Very strange.
Hmm.
Well, you are an expert in the business that you do. Then, did the gems on these headbands appear to be of high value? Do you think?
It's hard to say. They didn't seem very lovely. The bands were of some flat metal. Maybe that's why they wanted chromium to polish it. Probably not. You can never tell. But no, I would say that they didn't appear to be of high value from what I could tell.
So it didn't look like they were reflecting the firelight. It looked like they were lit more from within.
Well, I thought at first they were, but now that I'm thinking, how could they reflect blue in the firelight? Unless my eyes are going. Ooh, that's the third thing to go.
While Panessa's talking to him, Brickio's just going to kind of mosey around the shop or whatever. And she's mainly noticing does there seem to be anything of value besides the sapphires he showed him?
No, what you see there is you see a lot of jewelry that's very simple, like you consider it maybe almost like craft jewelry, like regional designs that are made of like simple metals, nothing, no gold or anything, very simple stuff. You do see some things with smaller gems set into them, like chips of them. But nothing here seems like incredibly valuable, beyond the two sapphires. Like, they all have some value. Maybe you would range anywhere from 10 to maybe 100 gold pieces, for any piece that you see here, in the city. But you would imagine those sapphires are worth 1,000 gold pieces a piece. Like, they look like they're obviously the most valuable thing in the place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Panessa, if
Anything else?
you don't have any questions for him, we thank you for your time. We may come back, but I believe you've given us enough to go on for now.
Yeah, for now. It's interesting. Yeah.
He
Okay.
says, if you can, do not mention this to the elders, or they would be embarrassed by it, as I know they do not have much to offer you. One of these sapphires will be yours if you can solve this problem.
We will keep that between us, then us three.
Yes, we will, and thank you.
Yes. Good hunting, and be careful.
On the way back to the inn or whatever, Bricchio is going to look at Panesta and go, from what he has told us, I believe my first thoughts would be these creatures are being controlled by someone or something else, something of much higher intelligence, and maybe they are using these bands with these jewelry that's on these headbands. Maybe that's what they're controlling them with. That is my first thought, though. There is someone with quite higher intelligence than these creatures behind this.
Yeah. I was thinking the exact same thing, Brickhild. These bands could be some kind of control mechanism. That's why they were glowing with color, even though the fire was there.
And I also have a thought about they've said these bodies have been removed after the battle, that they take the bodies of the dead. I hope there is no necromancy involved in this, but it is a thought that has come to my mind of that information.
Necromancy. That's disturbing, and
Yes, as you know, that is something I do not. No, I do not delve in that, and will fight that.
yes. Well, if that is what's happening, I will help you fight it, because it is. Every necromancer we've ever met has been kind of a jerk. So,
Well, let's hope it's not that deeply involved, but it does make me wonder if them taking the bodies, what use would they have of the deceased? Hopefully, Callista will be able to obtain some information from this merchant that will help add into what we have found out. And I guess we'll go back and see what Hammerhead and Helmet Head have discovered also.
Nice. Good transition into Alesta and Muda. So you want to head back to where this merchant is?
Yes. We're gonna
Yeah.
head out to the merchant.
All right. Well, he's basically just staying in this like back room, which is essentially like a storeroom that's been turned into a room for him, so he can be away from the people. And if you start to head back there, the man running the inn kind of he starts to motion to stop you, and he looks to the elders who kind of shake their head, and he lets you walk past. So it's basically just a door; it's closed.
Callista, since they're inside and everything, she has Rascal, her raven familiar, perched on her shoulder. Just to let you know. And she's gonna knock lightly on the door first. And she'll say, I am Callista of the Kixilios family. I wish to speak to. Did they say the name of the merchant?
Yep. Samaras.
I wish to speak to the merchant known as Sabaris.
Oh, actually, make a D6 roll. I'll give you 1 and 3 because you're 1 through 3 on a D6 because you're got a merchant family and he's from Khromarium.
Okay. 6. I rolled a 3.
That's his name. Yeah, you've heard of him before. And aside from all that's going on right here, what you know about him is that he comes from a pretty well-established mercantile house. They're quite wealthy and deal primarily in furs and exotic like fur stuff that's exotic, like so fur blankets and clothing and hats and gloves and stuff like that. So he hears your name, and actually I rolled. He knows who you are, so he says, did the Merchants Guild send somebody to help? Hold on. You hear him shuffling around and the door unlocks. He kind of opens the door a bit and kind of peeks out. He kind of eyeballs you.
Callista says, not the Merchants Guild per se, though we have been sent by others to help in this situation. I was hoping to get some information on you. Anything you might know that could help.
Yes, I can tell you right now that I can get my horse and we can be on our way. These people are crazy.
Yes, I've noticed. But
they know nothing about manners, and business. I won't be back to this part of the Gal Hills for a while, that's for sure.
Well, as is the life of a merchant, sometimes we must go with those of less sophistication than ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Come in. He kind of opens the door further, and he sees Muda, and he says, "Oh, does your servant need to come in as well?"
Uh, mm, no, Buddha, you're not needed for now. Um, just please go and enjoy the hotel for now. And you may go enjoy a rest as well. Zutulia.
Okay. I just kind of let some drool trickle down the corner of my mouth. And then I slowly turn around.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, he like stands by the door and lets you in, then closes the door behind you and locks it up. If you assume you can come in.
Yeah, she will come in.
Yeah, you could see that he's he's a tall guy. He's I've purchased this before. He's kind of like very kind of. He looks like he's not doing so well. Like he's clearly not having a good day. He's kind of heavy set. He has he kind of coughs a little bit. And he says, "I have to tell you, this weather is not doing anything for my my constitution. Nor is the food here. Oof."
Yes. Having been traveling several days myself, I too miss more refined and eloquent foods.
Okay, good.
Maybe quickly get back to actual civilization. Glasgow will say in a cheers type kind of manner.
Yeah, you see he turns. He starts. Looks like he's starting to pack his bag up. He says, "Oh, can't get out of here soon enough. I would have left 3 days ago, but I'm afraid they'll string me up. Seems that that jeweler there got robbed, and they're blaming me."
Well, why would they blame someone with such an esteemed name as your own?
Well, they're saying those wild beasts know that we are taking their skins. Please, I've been taking their skins for years. None have ever had revenge, and I paid good money for the skins I have. And you see that he's got actually some like a sack that he's got kind of full. He like pats it.
Yeah.
It's hardly worth the trip, though. I must be honest.
That is odd. Was the attack sudden? Was it surprising in the way that you were attacked?
Well, yes, it's always surprising when somebody attacks. I mean,
Yes.
then again, we are out here in the wilderness. But yes, I had what was his name? He was with me for a few years. John. Yeah, my bodyguard. He went down quickly, but luckily he stood in the way like any good strong man should do, and defended his better as I came in here.
That is fortunate.
You realize that the winter will be upon us soon, and these pelts will be worth a fortune. And I'm losing time being stuck here in this village by these uncivilized men.
Yes, well, that must be troubling. Hopefully, we can get this whole thing sorted out and let you be on your way.
Right. Well, I'm ready now, he says, so he gets his bag. You brought more guards than that man you had with you, right?
Yes, there are quite a number of people in the party.
Good. Can we go? Should we go now?
Well, of course, our party has only just arrived. We ourselves need, a bit of a break. I'm sure you understand, sir. But we will hasten quickly to be removed from this place.
Rolls his eyes. Have the innkeep send some food in. And then you see him pull some stuff out of his bag and throw it on the ground. He sits down. Let me know when we're ready. I have neither the time nor the patience for conversations like this.
Yes, no problem. We can work out the exact arrangements of our understanding a little later.
He just looks at you, shakes his head.
And Callista will curtsy, and then she will remove herself.
Yeah, as you open the door and get out, you notice that he gets up and immediately quickly moves to the door and closes it behind you and locks it. You can hear him grumbling in the back.
As Callista moves down the hall, she says, he was quite rude, rascal. He didn't even offer us tea.
So you made no headway with him?
No, unfortunately, I don't believe he knows anything. He seemed a bit not on the higher end of the intelligence scale.
Well, shall I go loosen his tongue?
I don't believe there's anything that he knows that could help us.
Oh, okay.
Well,
in that case.
He just claims that these villagers believe that he somehow orchestrated the robbery using the Apemen. But he claims that the Apemen are not organized enough to be controlled.
Okay. Well, shall we get back then?
Yes. Let us be on our way.
All right. Yeah. So I mean, it's a small place. You literally just walk 4 feet and you're back in the room you're in. But while this was all going on, you guys are talking to the elders out there. Biel, you notice, kind of out of the corner of your eye at first, that there's a boy, you place from around 12, 13 years old. He's kind of standing off to the side in the space. Nobody seems to really see him over there. And you can see that he's kind of going like this. Motioning.
So I'll get up off my stool and just kind of look around and act, I guess, nonchalant. It seems pretty obvious he's trying to be discreet, and I'll just sort of walk over there to that direction, lean up against the wall next to him.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah. So when you get up, as soon as you get up, he immediately down behind a couple of barrels, and you can see he's peeking around. And of course, you stand up, and a few people kind of look at you, but then they figure you probably just have to get something, or whatever. So you get up and do like you said, you walk over and lean against the wall.
If he ducks down behind some barrels, I'm gonna go to the other side of the barrels and just turn around and lean up against the back, lean up against them with my butt.
Okay.
And just fold my arms. And I'll say, "What is it, kid?"
You look like a warrior.
Maybe. I've crossed metal with a few.
Are the elders hiring you to get the beasts?
Well, I don't know yet. My friends have not yet returned.
I know the way. I found the paths. I followed them. They took my father.
Well, that answers the next question of what's a young lad like you venturing out in such a place. You're lucky you weren't taken yourself.
Don't let age fool you. I am one of the best hunters in this entire village. I have the nose of a wolf, they say. And I can track anyone.
Taught by
Take
your
me with you.
father. Taught by your father, I assume.
Yes,
Yes,
he
and
taught
yet
me
they
many
still,
things.
and yet they still got him. Do you see my point now? You need to be careful, lad.
Yes, well, he was overrun, taken by
Mm.
cowardly beasts. Overconfident, shall we say, much like a lot of old people.
What of your
I
mother?
know the way.
Is she is she still around?
No,
No. So you're on your own then.
that's right.
Well, as I told
But
you, my friends are not back yet, and I'm assuming that is the business they are dealing with as we speak. What is your name, boy?
oh, I see. You must do it different from where you're from. I thought the most powerful warrior was the leader of the pack. I am Bryn.
I'm Bryn. Uh, I am. How do you put this? Hmm. Not everyone does things the same. Sometimes the best leaders are the ones with the best brains. And while I am no stupid man, my talents, and he just kind of points back towards the hammer that's strapped across his back. He says, my talents lie where they do. But stay close. Come back here to those. What are we near a wagon or what are we?
You're inside.
We're inside. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
you're in like a open space kind of. I mean, you could call it an inn or a tavern, but it's basically just one big room with a couple of small rooms attached to the side.
okay. Um, I'll order you a plate of food, and when they arrive, we'll come meet you here at supper time, and you can tell the rest of them what you've told me, and they will decide whether or not it's of uh, it's of use. I'm sure that if you have this kind of information, that they will be accepting of your help in some form or another. Do we have a deal?
If we find the one that took my father, and he is no more, I want to kill that one.
Well, we'll address that part of the deal when we find out. Let's address the first part of the deal first. So, at supper time, and he kind of points his finger like you'll meet us. You'll be here, correct?
Nuts. You hear him kind of moving, and you hear his butt sit down on the ground.
Okay. He's
He's
like,
just gonna stay there.
enjoy your food. You'll be safe here, and I'll be back.
Okay.
So I'll walk back out to wherever. Is Basil still around?
Yep. He's sitting
Yeah.
with the elders.
Yep.
Okay. So I'll make my way over to Basil and I'll just relay the information.
Do you say it
And
quietly, or do you say it so the elders would be able to hear you?
oh, he's sitting there talking to the elders. No, I'm gonna wait. I'll just walk over and I'll just whisper to Basil and I'll say, "Pardon the interruption, But when you gentlemen take a break and you have a moment, come speak with me. And I pat Basil on the shoulder, and then I go back over to my own spot.
Yeah, Basil just nods.
Okay. Did you want to ask anything else of the elders, Young, as Basil?
Yeah, he's going to ask a whole bunch of questions about the Hermus, and he basically says, how do they attack exactly? Do they attack with claws, or do they use tools of war like spears and arrows?
Typically, they will attack with rude weapons.
I see.
Sometimes
Do they?
stone, sometimes spears, clubs.
Basil has a small worn journal open, and he's writing stuff down. And he asks, do they mount on any creatures?
No, not
I
that I
see.
know of.
They're on foot.
Yes.
And what of their group? Do they attack in numbers at the same time? Do they prefer to do that in cells?
Yes, they are like wolves attacking in a pack.
I see. How many do you normally find in a pack? 4, 5 of them?
If the pack is large enough to attack a man, we don't have that number. When we see only 4 or 5, they run away.
When they attacked the village, how many would you say were in that attack?
Oh. Huh. Let me see. How accurate his numbers would be. Let me just try something. They came from many directions. We would assume there was anywhere in the numbers of a score or more.
I see. A score is 6 of them. So perhaps a
10.
couple scores? 10?
20 is a score.
Oh, is it? Okay.
A score is 20, yeah.
Gotcha. Will do. Yeah, and he asks, do they normally ambush travelers as people walk around or travel about in these
Right.
parts?
You know, these creatures are not normally hostile to men, as far as our stories go. Occasionally there'll be an attack, but it's rare.
In the past, were you friendly to them? Before the merchant came along to hunt their pelt, have you had any friendly relations with these Hermus?
No, we speak them. We treat them like any other animal. We give them their space. They give us ours.
And one more thing, how quick are they? Are they as swift as wolves or as swift as any regular men?
Oh, you know that? No. There are tales of them outrunning a man on a horse, but those tales are few and far between. Most would imagine they're as swift as a wolf, or maybe a man.
I see. And whereabouts do you presume they've taken your men?
Well, we know that they took a cart of stone from the jeweler, and one of our trackers found the ruts. So the trail should still be there as it's frozen up after the rains.
I see.
But towards the mountains, which is where they dwell.
I understand. All right, perhaps you could give us a rough map when we leave town to go after these creatures.
Yeah, probably give you a general idea. I mean, they don't use maps really. They're like small, kind of uncivilized villagers, but they can give you a general idea of how far away things are. Like the way they do things is they say, go to the west, 2.5 days travel, and you'll come to this town. Like that's basically how they do it. But you could probably sketch out a map based on what they say.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, he says, well, thank you very much, Elder. It's been a great pleasure talking to you. And he goes out there to join Bale and says, Hail, Bale. How have you been faring out here?
bored until just a few moments ago. I nod over to where Bryn is sitting and I say, had an interesting chat with the young lad over there. He says that his father was one of the ones who's been taken. And apparently, he thinks himself a cunning young lad, which he very well may be. But apparently, he ventured out and says he knows the way. He followed the paths and knows the way to where they are, which is a good thing. But it appears the young lad is very insistent upon going with us, and he would like to have a hand in killing the leader.
Why, lad, how old do you think he is?
How old do I think he is?
Is he about
12 or 13.
He's barely. He's only seen one winter for sure.
by the gods, the poor lad must be desperate to take such a risk.
Indeed, and I'm not sure how I feel about. I mean, I've seen lads that young training, but you know, he has still several years to go before I would normally agree to bring him along. But alas, I'm not in charge. I don't know how the others would feel, but the problem is he says he can definitely show the way, so I'm not 100% sure how much choice we have in the matter, but I figured it would be best left to Brighild and Pinesta and the others should put it to a vote. But I
Well,
fed the boy a meal, bought him a plate, told him to set his behind upon the floor, and at supper time we would come back, and when we were all back together.
well, you're a good man, Bale, to buy him a meal as you do. But you already know how I feel.
Yes, I figured.
As much as I appreciate a tracker in these parts, we can't have a little lad follow us. It would weigh heavily on our conscience should he fall in battle.
True, but by the same token, the boy has nowhere else to go, for his mother is no longer around.
He's an orphan, is he?
Indeed. So, again, perhaps he can show us the way and we can convince him to stay out of the fight, or I don't know. I'm not exactly an expert in dealing with children.
He nods silently. And he says, my answer is no, but we shall leave this up to the others.
As
Okay,
if
we can. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. So we can say that the eventually the elders are you've basically got the information you need. If you need to speak with them, they can come back, or you can meet them. That they're getting old. They're old, so it's getting dark. It's getting near the end of the day as the sun drops at 4:30. So they're brought back to their respective huts and their families. Some places are set in the space for you guys to spend the night. Assuming you're not going to leave in the dark, of course. And by then, Buddha and Muda. I keep calling you Buddha. Muda and well, basically everybody's back by then. We'll say everybody kind of reconvenes as they bring food to you, and you're kind of left to your own to figure out what you want to do. So we'll put everybody back together in the what we're calling the inn. It's not really an inn; it's more like just a big gathering space that the the village uses, like almost like a longhouse. You might consider it like that, and basically, where there's some hearths and there's some food and tables and stuff. So yeah, you guys are all back together. We'll say.
Well, we've learned some things, Brighild and I. It appears the beastmen who stole the corundum from the jeweler were wearing some strange flat metal headbands with jewels in them.
Perhaps. I'm,
Jewels.
reflecting back on the story that I've heard you tell of the snake god and the feathered crown and all, do you think maybe these are some way that someone is controlling them?
That was Brighild and I's thought. I mean, just our initial thought, right, Brighild? So that's what we were thinking.
Yes, that is a wise assumption there, Bale. I'm proud of you for coming up with that also. But yes, we think that maybe there is something or someone much higher intelligence that are controlling these creatures, and they were definitely not after these two nice sapphires that the jeweler had were very valuable, I would think, by looking at them, and they just completely ignored them. So they were not there for the valuable of gems. They were there for this corundum and whatever they're taking it to be used for. So we definitely think they're being controlled by someone, and also have suspicion. I think that maybe there could be an awful form of necromancy involved. I hope it does not come to that with these bodies that have been taken back also, that maybe they'll be using for some awful deed that is whoever this is up to. But Callista may know more about that than I do in her studies.
Well,
Yes, there are certainly ways to control lesser creatures with magics of varying sorts, spells or items, I'm sure.
I wonder, do you know anything about corundum, Callista?
Do what I know about that, Daniel? From being
Yeah, you could. You 3 and 6 will say you're a merchant.
okay, yeah. So it's not something I've ever really dealt with, but I know some armor sellers and blacksmiths use it to make their weapons
Right.
shine better.
Yes, sanding, polishing is what we were told. I didn't know if you knew of any other use in a spell component or something.
Well, that's a lot of information.
Okay.
But there's nothing of corundum that I know of that would be used specifically for controlling creatures that I know.
Okay.
What about this merchant that you and Muda spoke to? No one seems to like. How did he present himself to you two?
Quite full of himself. I believe he is looking for transport back across the lands. He has several pelts. There might be a way to negotiate him traveling with us.
We do not want to take the man on the mission that we've
Oh no, not on the mission.
endeavored, but if
If we head back.
well, yes, if we make it back here and he needs an escort back to Gaul or something, maybe that would be a way to make a few extra coins if the man actually has some.
Well, like I said, I know he does have several pelts. I saw the stat myself. I'm not sure how much actual coin he has on him, but I do know of the man. He comes from a well-established family, so he has money to spare, I'm sure.
That is
Muda,
unfortunate.
Sorry,
Yes,
go
it
ahead.
is unfortunate you did not obtain any useful information from him, though. But I'm sure, as you know, from dealing with certain type of people like that, it is hard to garner anything useful. But they are more worried about themselves.
I, for one, have zero inclination to escort a snobby merchant, especially into a battlefield.
Muda, what was your impression of this merchant?
Do I look like a slave? I mean, just if you saw me, just first impression, did I look
No.
like a slave to you?
No, my
No.
dear, no.
See, and that's what I thought. So I say we tie him up and take his pelts.
He called you a slave?
Yes.
Well,
I mean, I think we can leverage the deal. We can take him out into the wilderness and leave him there and make a little money on the side.
Did you take a couple of his teeth for good measure?
No, I didn't want to ruin anything at this point. I mean, I wanted to, I played along with it, but
that was very generous of your spirit, Muda, to play along with that.
I thought I would play the part, and I will continue to play the part if so be it. But I have no qualms of just leaving him to freeze on the plains.
At this point, the merchant is not of any concern of us.
Nope. Yep.
But if we do make it back and
Here's a couple
know,
of things. Oh, go ahead. What are you
I was just going to
say?
say, if we do want to make it back, when we make it back, if we do want to bargain a deal with him to escort him across, people do get lost in the weather, of course.
And sometimes, people make deals with me, and I can mesmerize him if I have to.
And charge him threefolds, right?
That's right. That's right. Call Muda a servant. Muda helped me kill the snake god.
Exactly. I mean, look at this.
Yeah. We'll deal with him later, as Brighild says.
Well, while you were gone, I did talk to the elder, and I did find out a couple of things about what we're about to face. He says that the creatures that attacked number greater than 20. And it seems like they're quite fast. Some people think that they could run as fast as a horse. But I'm relieved to know that they don't wield any sophisticated weapons. They pelt rocks, and perhaps they use simple spears and such. But it doesn't seem like they wield anything more dangerous than that. And oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, but we were told they are starting to strip weapons.
Yes, but I don't believe. Well, the elder told me that they're not sophisticated enough to use complicated weapons such as these. And he points at one of the men holding a crossbow. And yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
And I believe these creatures were wearing headbands, right?
That's what we were told by the jeweler.
Yeah, as you told us. But from what the old man says, these creatures have never really come in hostile contact with them before. So if these creatures are being controlled, perhaps it's those headbands that's controlling them. Could we simply remove them and have them go back to the way they were?
That is the thought that I have had also, as Panesta will say, maybe as soon as we encounter one of these creatures, if it is wearing a headband, we need to all target that creature and try to remove that headband to see if it has any effect on it. That is a very excellent idea.
Let me explain something to you. It's not as simple to simply say, let's just remove something from the head of a creature.
I mean, I don't see what would be complicated.
It is when you can paralyze. It is when you can paralyze it, Muda. I could just paralyze one. I could paralyze one.
Well, Muda, you say it like you have an ample experience in this.
Well,
Just thinking
yes.
the same thing. Something tells me that this man has experienced this before.
It nearly cost me my life. That's just what I'm saying. Some things, once they are planted on the head, simply do not come off.
Obviously, it's a story that we've never heard, Muda.
Right.
Like every single night, yes.
I would never overtell that story.
Bale,
Well,
you
This-
have been awful quiet. Is there any information you have gathered from any of the people here?
Oh, yes, well, I wanted you all to finish talking out what you had there. Not much happened while you were gone, save for a young boy who called me over. He asked me if we were the ones the elders were going to hire to go off and find these creatures. And I told him, that was being handled by you all. Anyway, he says that his father was apparently taken by these creatures, and the boy pronounces himself as quite the cunning hunter. Says he's one of the best hunters in the village. He says he followed, and he knows the path, and he knows where the creatures are. Which at first sounds wonderful. It'll certainly make the finding them much easier. However, young boy has no mother, and now his father is gone. He has no one. He insists on coming along, which I can only imagine how well that's going to go over with the rest of you. But he also insists that should we find the leader of these creatures, that he wishes to have a hand in killing it. And then Bale kind of shrugs a little bit. He's like, so on one hand, my first inclination is no way in hell. But the boy is an orphan. He has nowhere else to go. He's made the decision that he wants to do this.
Now, the
He's-
first two
he's
questions
young.
I would have is, have you verified with the elders of who this boy is and what he has told you, first of all? And second of all, if he knows the location of these creatures, has he shared it with the elders or anyone before our arrival that you know of?
So there's an old saying that loose lips sinking ships, something like that. You guys have your own ship. Surely you've heard it, but I didn't dare share the information with anyone, save from Basil, until I could share it with you all first. I am not in a position of command here, so such decisions I felt were best left to other people or to the group as a whole. If that's what you want to do, then that's what we will do. But I'm not going to make those kind of assumptions and end up landing myself in trouble or making a silly mistake.
Well, thinking things through is always a good idea. One that's not always been practiced by other members of our group. And I'll smile at Brighild, and then I'll say, but she's right. We need to figure out if he wasn't wearing a headband, was he, this boy?
No, he was not. I don't think he was.
Just want to make sure he's not trying to lead us to some sort of ambush.
Well, did they come back to? Are we all back in the area where isn't the boy sitting right over there?
Yep, maybe he's behind the barrels.
Yeah, I could just say he's sitting right over there behind the barrels. I don't remember seeing a headband, but to be quite honest with you, I knew nothing about these headbands, so I didn't really pay attention. Many cultures wear bands across their brow.
Well, much like you, Bale, I I've seen death of a close friend that I grew up with that was on this voyage with us before you arrived, and deaths of some of the others in our group. And I do not want the conscience of my mind to suffer for the years I have ahead of if this boy was to be killed by one of these creatures or something worse. I do not feel like it's best to take him with us, but then again, if he does has the valuable information of the location, that it is a torn answer we must try to come up with amongst ourselves, but not an easy one.
No, because unfortunately, at age 12, at least in Hyboria, at age 12, he's almost to the point where he's ready to take on a man's duties and responsibilities. And if he decides that he wishes to do so early, uh, whilst I don't agree with it, at the same time, by what rights do I have to stop him? But I mean, don't take that as me saying, "Oh well, we should definitely bring him." I am opposed to it, but I'm not the boy's father either, and I can't help but think that if we tell the boy we're not going to help him, he is still a boy. He's liable to head off on his own, and I'm sure we all know what that's going to get him.
Yes, because the boy will be acting on nothing but his emotions. He is too emotionally involved with his father being taken, of course. That's the only decisions he will make based on. It's not a good spot to be in.
No, at least with us, he might still die, but at least we can try to keep him alive.
Well, we certainly can't say yes to him killing the leader. I mean, we're not even sure if these creatures are of their own will at this moment, so it may not even be their fault that the attacks occurred in the first place.
Well, if this is a factor, I would have to say that we already know where we must go. The elder has already given me the direction. Perhaps it's different from that of the boy. We could speak to him and see whether if it is the same. However, if we were to take the boy, then Bale, perhaps you're most suited to protect the boy.
We say no to him.
No, we
What
cannot take
guarantee
the
do we have that
boy.
he won't follow us and give us away on accident?
Yes.
We cannot take the boy. That is not Bell's responsibility to watch after the boy. Basile, that's no.
I'd concur, and I'd hate to have our best warrior be tied to the guard duty of a 12-year-old boy.
Yes.
Okay.
He kind of puts his hands up and he says, you have my information and you know where the boy is. I leave the decision up to more capable hands than mine."
I mean, we cannot stop the boy from following us if he watches us and goes the route we can. We cannot stop the boy. We have no control over him, but we should not be responsible for his.
Perhaps one of us should attempt to speak to him and help him to see that, it would be best if he were to stay here.
Well, I'd like
But-
to speak to the boy to see whether if his information is the same as that of the old man.
Well, we should also, if you're going to involve the boy in any farm, you should also maybe ask the village elders to verify his story of that he is who he is and
Yep.
he has no mother and his father has been taken. But we should not be responsible for the boy anyway.
Yep, I agree with Brighild on both counts. We want to make
Sage
sure
words.
he's not being, like I said, not being told to lead us into a trap. So
Okay.
let's talk
This is
to the
probably a good
boy.
place to take a break. And we'll talk to the boy who's been sitting there whole time in the same room with you. But no, yeah, we'll talk to the boy when we get back. So let's take 10 minutes and
All right.
we'll come back and figure out what's going on. Okay, we're back. Oh, and I'll do it now because I forgot to do it. If you're watching this and you like these actual plays and you want to keep seeing them, starting in May, I'm going to move them to a new channel I just started, Bandits Keep Actual Plays. So we're going to move all the actual plays there, so you'll see them start to pop up there. Then go ahead and subscribe over there. I'll put a link in the description. I can't, the URL doesn't work yet until I have 100 subscribers. So if you're watching this, you're not subscribed, subscribe to that channel, please. And I will send you a Valentine's Day card. Probably not, but I'll say that I will. Remember what used to... anyways, let's get back to it. So we are in Hyperborea, in the town or village of Dunwich, that has been, was attacked by some humanoids, and the party is, I guess, has a decision to make here. I'm going to say that by this time, Bryn, who's basically been in the same room with you the whole time, kind of pokes his head up. You notice immediately, Braille, that he does not have a headband on. And he's just kind of looking at you. And then he stands up and he walks towards the group. He kind of sticks his arms out like this and he goes, I'm possessed. I'm possessed. No, I'm not really. You guys talk
He
a
is
lot.
kind of cute. He is kind of cute. He might be a good balance to Brighild.
Brickiel crosses her arms and looks at him and she goes, so your father was taken by these beasts, is that correct?
That's correct. He ran forward to try to defend the rest of the village and was overcome. Smacked across the top of his head, dragged off.
And you followed the trail of these beasts and you know where they are camped out at?
That's right. I was herding the women and children away. By the time I came back, the beasts were already in flight, so I followed them. They were dragging a large cart through the mud. It had rained the night before and left big ruts. So I followed, not too close. A good hunter doesn't get too close until they know their prey. So I let them get ahead of me and I followed them. It's pretty far that they went, but I didn't follow them the whole way at first. I came back to the village and told the elders, who then in turn told the hunters when they returned, who of course have not returned since. So I followed the trail yesterday, and it looks like it goes about 9 miles up to a cliffside where there's a cave. The cart is laying there broken up. I don't see any signs of the people. I would have went
So
in
when you-
myself, but I only have 12 arrows, and there was at least a score of them. I'm a
So
good
when you
shot, but I'm
got
not
to
that
the
good.
when you got to the cave yesterday, you observed the cart broken in pieces and the contents gone, but you did not observe any of these beasts guarding the entrance to the cave or any activity around it?
No, there was nobody. There was no one there. I mean, the cave was some 200 feet in the air. It's a pretty steep climb. So I didn't look into the cave, but I didn't see any on the ground or around the area. And I didn't want to linger too long, only having 12 arrows.
Brickield at that point turns and looks at Basile and goes, are you going to take your armor off to climb up to the cave entrance? And how are you going to get all of your entourage up there?
Doesn't seem like I can take all of them. And as far as my armor is concerned, I cannot climb with all these things. I'd have to bag it and then drag it up there.
Oh, well, you're such an expert on the horse. I figured that you'd be an expert at climbing also.
Well, the horse carries my armor and me along. However, if I'm climbing up a cliff, I'd have to, I have to carry all these things. So, no. But you say you're an archer, boy.
That's right.
Interesting. Basil takes out a apple from his pack and he looks at it, and all of a sudden, without warning, he tosses it towards the boy to see whether if he's able to catch it. And he says, "Catch."
All right, I'll see if I'll make a roll. Let me see if this is listed as dexterity here. Yeah. All right. I'll make that a test of dexterity. Let's see. I'll just roll it, I guess. We'll test the d6, right? Nope. I don't even have to look. I rolled a 6, so he definitely didn't catch it. It like bounces off his chest and lands on the ground.
Basil, you see him like, put his forehead on his hand, and you see him rubbing it, and he takes a deep sigh. It's like, I see. Well, you call yourself an archer. Maybe you will become an archer in a few years if you get to live that long.
Well,
Now, tell us a little bit about a place that you saw. And this is where that old man told us the tracks led them. And he's basically trying to figure out whether if he has the same information that the old man has.
yeah, I mean, he basically says the old men don't give you as much information as he has. He has more information than them. They basically just tell you, they tell you where the tracks are and which direction they go, but he gets really intricate as to where they go and exactly how they proceed. And once he's like, once you're at the base of the mountain, it starts to raise up and the tracks become much more faint because it's stone there, so that the rain washes off. You don't get the deep ruts, so you got to look for the marks. Also, what language were you speaking? See, around here, archery means that you use a bow, not catch apples. And you see he's eating the apple.
I like the kid.
I will say this to you now, boy. I cannot consciously allow you to go with us and show us where to go, but I also am not your mother, your aunt, or anyone. And I cannot stop you either, but I cannot allow you, I will not vote for you to go with us voluntarily. It's just, we cannot be responsible for you.
It says, well, if you were my woman, I would keep you in line.
Oh my God. Do you know how to pitch a tent?
Boy, be glad that she doesn't strike you across your face.
Yeah.
And be mindful of how you address your elders.
Can you make a fire?
Of course I can make a fire.
He looks at Basil and says, the night is still young.
Yeah.
You know, I could use some help.
Great.
Rubbing his forehead, Basil looks to Panesta.
Oh, I don't want to take him with us. He's a kid.
He's definitely
Throw a
good.
fork at Basil.
But I
Well,
also
see
don't
if
want
I-
him trying to sneak up behind us to follow us and giving our position away either.
Well, boy, you're going to follow us regardless. Is that right?
You'll never know I'm there.
Armand, and then he turns to his armor bearer and he says, this is Armand. He's my armor bearer. He usually stays out of the fray whenever there is trouble. If you do follow us, stick close to him and do not involve yourself in battle. Is that understood?
Perhaps, if I may interrupt, if the boy is as good with the bow as he proclaims, then he would be perfect to defend the armor bearers and and those we bring with us, not leave their side, and to be their guardian. And he looks over at Britt and he goes, it is a noble and just duty to protect those who bear the burdens of fighting men and fighting women. And there's a very good chance that perhaps you may be set upon by one of these creatures run astray. And if so, they will need you to defend them.
Yeah. He nods. He says, "Of course, to defend the weak is the vow that we take as warriors."
And he
He
leans
takes he has
forward.
like a cheap dagger. He pulls it out. And he kind of does a.
He leans forward and he says, I will outfit you with all the arrows you can carry, but understand something. And I don't mean this to come across disrespectful, but while you take on a man's duty, you are still a boy. Your job, for any mission to be successful, everyone must do their job. And if you leave these bearers, this armor bearer, and you leave them to their own with thoughts of heroism, then I shall snatch you by the collar and put you across my knee. Or you can do as you're told, defend them as a honorable and just warrior, and you will share in all of the glories that come with defeating these creatures. Do I make myself clear?
Yeah. He looks down, and then he looks up at you right in the eyes. He says, "Yes."
Well, I'll spend some time in training him how to shoot straight.
Callista feeds Rascal, her raven. She's feeding him a nice big juicy caterpillar, and she looks over to mostly towards Vanessa, but sort of speaking to everyone. She's like, well, no one told me we were going to be climbing muddy hills into dank and gruesome caves.
Well,
Welcome to the life.
Well, you could always stay here and make more pleasantries with the other merchant if you wish.
I think I'll take my chances.
Oh. No desire for the merchant to have his grubby coin counters all over you, and he starts wiggles his hand like this.
He would not lay a finger upon me.
Well, yeah. Didn't say he would, just said he'd try. But anyway.
No, she would have her servant Muda take care of that problem.
Yes.
You guys know me. Someone touches you without permission, Calestra. He'll lose his fingers.
Don't worry about slime-covered caves. Adventuring is a dirty business.
If you get enough treasure, you can just buy new clothes.
Indeed. Think of the kind of bath that 5 gold pieces can buy you.
Oh, the rose petals.
Wait, that costs money?
Is it pretty late in the afternoon, or is it still pretty early?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I would say. Let's see, everyone is it's probably like about 8 or 9 o'clock at night. I mean, it's been dark for a while. The sun drops at 4:30, so you're pretty much the only people here besides the we'll call it the tavernier, that's running the place. He periodically brings you stuff. It's clear that he lives here. He's in one of the rooms. Every once in a while he comes out and just sees if he needs anything else. But it's the town's basically deserted at this late at night. It's dark.
Say, boy, what's your name?
Bryn.
Bryn. Yeah, follow me outside. I just want to take a look and see how you are able to handle your bow.
Bricchio looks to, when he says that, Bricchio is going to look towards Bale and make the nod for Bale to follow too, because she trusts Bale more in teaching stuff than she does Basile.
He gets up and follows, and he just kind of leans by. He says, well, I'm not a damn bowman, but...
I don't think he is either.
Male cannot help but chuckle a little bit.
Basil looks at her and he says, "You know, I've been with the Khromarium Guard as a cavalry archer for how many years? I've trained
Oh,
men to men."
you would not heard her say that to Belle. She would have said
Okay.
it softly.
He just kind of chuckles and winks and follows out the door.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
you can have a training montage with the boy. That's fun.
It's
I
a
mean,
montage.
he knows how to
Well,
use a bow.
yeah.
I mean, you get that from him. I mean, you're a trained archer. You would know. Yeah, he knows how to use a bow. He's not unfamiliar with it. I mean, he has a 15 dexterity. He's basically a 0 level fighter. So
Okay. After
Yeah.
15 minutes, he comes back and says, "The boy can shoot."
he's definitely not at your level, but he's for a 12-year-old, he's pretty darn good. He's
Yeah,
got a-
then
it's a-
Brickhill speaks up and goes, "Oh, good, Basil. I'm glad you were able to teach him the fine skills of archery."
He did. Probably improved his chances. All right. Yeah. Assuming that you rest and the sun rises in the morning, the tavernier is he's warming up some porridge or whatever. And the boy Brandon, who stayed with you because he has a also there, he says it's about a few hours travel. Oh, let's see what the weather's like. Oh. Let's see if it's going to snow or anything, right? Nope, clear weather, but cold. It's it's negative 25 today. So
Gross.
that's like dangerously cold. So even though it's only 9 miles away, you're like periodically having to stop, probably, to like break the ice off the horse's mouth that's all coming up on the horse. If you're assuming you're taking your horse, and even on your own self, if you have beards or whatever, smashing it off and kind of just like maybe even lighting a fire, just to kind of get a little bit of warmth as you're traveling. So, who wants to jinx the party? Crystal, roll a d6.
Oh no, not her.
Oh man. Oh, God.
Oh,
Of course
man.
I do. Of course I rolled a 6. Of course it was an 6.
Oh man. All right. Okay. Oh, okay. That's not good.
He did that on purpose, Crystal, because he knows if he asked me or you to roll.
Yeah.
That's right.
Every time.
I was happy that you were first. I was like, aha. Wow. Okay, you're moving along. I mean, you can't possibly be surprised by this. So, and you kind of stopped to a bit of a fire, and you hear this rumbling. Brett doesn't seem to really take any note of it. But you can really hear it, kind of like there's even the ground feels like it's shaking. And then after a little bit, you kind of look off on the hills, and you can see that there's a herd of musk ox. There's dozens of them. They're coming towards you, but not in a threatening way. You'll have to move, but you've got plenty of time. They're pretty far away from you. As this pack of musk ox kind of move through. Of course, you get the non-violent roll.
Yes.
Rush, roll d6 for me.
Okay. As they go by, he's just like, well, thank God they weren't in a stampede.
Exactly.
Rolls d6.
Still, they sure smell though.
Yes, they do. But in fact, it's so cold. You're probably thinking, man, you wouldn't get inside with they're big and furry, but they do smell. Yeah. So you continue to travel through the next hour or so, following this track. The tracks have gotten a lot less obvious, and frankly, without somebody with the tracking skills, there would be a chance that you wouldn't have even seen them at this point. They're very sketchy. At that point, you might even be doubting whether or not there's tracks there, and like you question Bryn, he like gets down on his hands and knees and kind of points out to you, so you can kind of see like how they are. Oh look, Tony's next in line. Tony, roll d6.
Oh man. A 5.
Okay. Yeah. So he's leading you, And of course, you're getting closer and closer to you're going up the mountain. It's a slow slope up this mountain, and like I say, it is cold. But from a decent distance, you can see. He points to you. He says, "Oh, see up there on the side, that dark area. That's the cave." He says, "We're going to break the tree line about 100 feet or so under the under the cave area. So we'll have to be cautious once we pop out, so they don't see us. I'll show you where the cart is." And he starts to get ahead of you a bit, kind of a little anxious.
Don't let him get too far ahead, guys. Bail, grab him.
Yeah, I'll try to snatch him.
No. Oh yeah. No, it's right over here. Don't worry. I'm not going to get too far ahead. And he kind of slows back down again. And yeah, you get to like the edge of the tree line, and he kind of points, and you can see that it kind of goes up a bit, like rocky-ish area, and you can see like a wheel laying there, and then another wheel, and then you see parts of the cart. It looks like probably somebody very forcibly tried to drag it up, and it kind of broke apart. And then you can see what is more or less a sheer cliff. I mean, you can see that there's like a thin, like maybe foot wide, like kind of zigzag path going up, but it would definitely require, some dexterity to get up to the top of where this thing is, about 200 feet up the cliff. Doesn't seem, there's no smoke or anything coming out of the cave. It seems basically just like a hole in the wall at this distance. And we'll say that you're in cover under the tree line at this point, so you don't think you're in any fear of being seen from up there. And yeah, what do you guys want to do?
How long does it take to get out of the armor? For a plate armor.
10 minutes. Doesn't take too long to
man.
get out of it. You have somebody helping you, right?
Yeah.
You've trained armor bearer. It's not going to take that long to get it out of it. Yeah, if you want to try to climb up with the armor on, you're going to need to make some kind of test of dexterity. I mean, everybody will have to do that anyways, but of course you can, help yourselves by using various. We'll assume, because you knew you had to climb up this thing, then you were in the town. And if you had asked for any kind of climbing stuff like rope or spikes or whatever, that you have that stuff, so you can certainly do it. You'll have a worse chance by one, we'll say. Your armor on.
Yeah, he's gonna keep his armor on.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you guys want to do? You don't see any activity. I don't know how long you want to wait there. Unfortunately, it's very cold, so just standing there is like immediately uncomfortable. Without a fire, you want to be moving. So, what would you like to do?
Brickhill is going to look at the party, and if we do not encounter any trouble on our climb up there and reach the cave entrance, there is something I can do for two of us to enter the cave without any type of light source that may bring attention to us. There's my studies and improving myself this past year. I'm able to do it for two of us now. If we want to enter the cave, you will just have to trust me. But if we make it that far first without being noticed.
Of course, I trust you implicitly, Brickhill. Do you want me to fly up there and see what I can see? I mean, I have a flying carpet.
Yes, it may not be such a bad idea, maybe, but it would seem there's been no activity here, though. The snow has covered everything. There's no tracks, but do they have a lookout just inside the cave? I don't know.
Right.
I have a new magic spell. Well, I can fly.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Okay, so
someone should go up there.
Sorry.
Yeah,
But
someone should go up there.
Oh yeah, I'll fly up there, no problem.
You're gonna by yourself?
Does
Nesta,
someone go ahead.
You should take someone with you, maybe someone that has some type of ranged weapon.
I'll go. Well, I could do without actually climbing it and climbing up there in my armor.
Sure.
You know that it's not a bad idea. I could ferry Basil Well, how do you want your name said, Young?
Basil.
Basil. I need to know for rhyming purposes. But
No, you do not want to be mentioned in the song. That only happens when you die.
The
That's
dirge.
actually.
The dirge for Basil.
all right. I could
Yeah, you can do
actually
that.
ferry Basil up there, but I mean he'd be up there by himself for a while. What am I talking? I could ferry all of us up there, one at a time. We don't have to climb.
Yeah, if you want to take your time to do it, sure.
I'll fortify the area once you fly me up there.
So
Yeah.
how does everybody think about that?
Adventuring is so perilous nowadays.
Yeah, Bryn is very excited about it.
I'll
He
fly.
says, "Oh, a flying carpet. I'll go,
Yeah,
and I have ranged weapons."
you're
And you
very
have no
brave,
armor.
little one, but I'm going to take a few others first. We don't want you up there by yourself, but I promise you'll get a chance to ride on the carpet.
He seems excited.
Bale raises his hand and says, "We know it's safe down here. Why don't you take me up first? And that way I can keep watch as you bring the other ones up behind me."
Are you okay with that, Basil?
Uh-oh. The two fighters going to bump chests to see who's the coolest.
Well, Bale, I see that you're wearing a armor that's a little bit shabbier than mine.
Yeah. But I'm best on my feet and not on a horse.
Well, if you say so, go ahead.
Point made.
Bricky'll just stands there with this dumbfounded look on her face, like,
Yes.
seriously.
Yeah, someone get on the carpet with me and we'll go. You guys decide. I don't care who I take.
I'll
Yeah,
cover you.
I just
guys-
hop on.
Yeah.
It sinks down a little bit.
Yeah, right. I think I got 600 pounds I can carry, so
Oh yeah, you can.
for it, yeah. All right, I'll ferry him up if I can.
Oh yeah,
Hang
you
him.
definitely can. Yeah,
Yep.
so you get on the thing and the music starts.
There's no music on my carpet.
The Aladdin music kicks in. You can never sneak up on anyone on that carpet because all of a sudden it's like. So you fly up and you can see that there's right at the top. There's a bit of a ledge, like 6-7 foot wide. That obviously when you get to the top of the path, if you will. Behind that, there's a cave. It looks like it's actually. Strangely enough, it looks like it was probably bigger at one point. Maybe it's collapsed a bit. And as you're looking in, you can see that there's actually a room inside that you're looking down into, and it is lit, actually. You can see light in there. It's a greenish light, and it's kind of blinking, kind of on and off. Like it's like lit, and all of a sudden it goes away, and then it lights up again, and then it goes away. It's got this greenish feel to it. And as you kind of look through, essentially you've got about a 10-ish, 10, 15 foot wide corridor, if you will, that's made of metal, squared off, that leads to basically an opening that we would imagine a door might be, but there's no door, there's just open. And then beyond that, you can't see all of it, obviously, from where you are, but you can see there's like a room or such, and you see a number of these hermits standing there. They are, there's 10 of them. They're wielding broadswords, Celtic-looking broadswords, and they all of them have these like metal bands on their head, and they seem to be, and you can see it because it's pretty dark in there. You can see that it's definitely not a trick of the light. They are definitely glowing, these gems, and they seem to be moving. In other words, it's like a strip of gems, and a different one is lighting up on all of them. It's moving in a pattern, which is a left to right pattern: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and then it starts bleeding again.
Red, orange.
And they're just kind of standing there with their mouths open, holding broadswords, kind of just staring at into space. They don't seem to notice you.
I'm
I mean, you're
gonna
outside, obviously.
whisper
So.
to Bale. I'm just gonna kind of keep the carpet away from the cave mouth,
Mhm.
so it can drop below below the cliff if I have to. I'm just gonna say, do you
Yeah.
want me to leave you, or should we go back and tell the others what we see first? I don't want to leave you with these 10 things. Irmis.
Mm,
Let's go tell the others. Then they can help decide.
okay.
We'll go back down.
Yeah, and also just so I'm describing correctly, if you were to leave him on the ledge, he'd be outside the metal space where there is, and you could stand to the side where you wouldn't be seen. I mean, that doesn't stop them from running out there and killing you, but it's not like you have to drop him off right in the room. Yeah.
Oh,
You can
I
drop
know.
him
I
off in a
just
place that's okay. I just want to make sure that's clear. Okay,
I mean,
yeah. So you fly back down.
don't want him to die right away. No, it does not play that song.
It does.
It does not.
It's canon.
Dude, I hate that song. Nope.
All flying carpets automatically play that song. It's just the way it is. Sorry.
Fine, whatever you want.
It says it right in the rule book.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, so you fly down. All right. So you guys see Fenesta arriving with Bale.
Did you enjoy the ride, my friends?
Well, obviously, but some of them creatures are up there on top. Maybe if to say, do you think the carpet will hold Basil as well?
Nope.
How much does your armor? I don't think so.
It doesn't matter because it says 2 people, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh.
Very specific. I think it very specifically points out
Yeah.
2 people.
Yeah,
he's
little over like 215 or something like that for the weight.
I think it's just the carpet itself is just physically not big enough for more than 2 people, I believe. Because I mean, I could be wrong about that.
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah, you're
90%
correct.
sure.
Two unencumbered people or 500 pounds. Yeah, you're right.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nesta,
about
why
this?
don't you have Bale on the carpet, and you have maybe myself and Muda. We can start climbing up. We're the lighter ones of the bunch, and Callista will start climbing up. And when we get close to the top, you can take Bale up, and there will be 3 of us there, and then you can come back down and get Basile.
Okay.
Do you intend to attack these creatures? Or I don't believe that it would be wise to go into a fortified situation.
I mean,
If we were to have them be drawn out, or if you have some magical ability to prevent them from taking action so that we could test our
I don't think
Theory.
we're just going to charge right in. No, we're at least going to wait till you get up here.
Yes, and it would seem like they're under some type of influence from what Panesta and Bale have described with their actions up there anyway. I don't think they're going to be drawn out. They're probably sitting there as protectors and guardians until someone enters the cave.
I see. Could you paralyze them somehow?
Certainly try.
Yeah. Let's worry about getting up there first.
Well, okay, I'll take Bale up and I'll come back for Basil. And you guys can start climbing, and I can always pick you up if you want. And Muda, I can take Muda too, since everyone seems to forget Muda.
Well, no,
No,
I
no.
said probably me and Muda would probably climb.
Okay.
We'll probably
Yeah,
the lightest
don't
ones.
mind me. I'm just a servant.
Well, yeah, because I think because you guys, if you're not wearing any armor at all, like I think Callista's not wearing any armor at all, right? You could probably just get up with that without any kind of test. If you're wearing light armor, you'll need to make a test of dexterity, but you can have 1 bonus point. So I guess subtract 1 from your
Okay.
roll. And if you're wearing heavy armor, then you need to do the opposite. Add 1.
Okay, so Bale and Basil, definitely I'll take them.
Well,
And
I don't know, what
then
do you
if-
wear for armor, Bill?
I have.
It's like a medium armor, like a splint or something. You could probably.
Something like that. Yeah. Hold on.
I mean, I'm assuming you're wearing heavy armor, right? Young, your character.
Yeah,
Or a
Basil
plate?
is wearing a plate.
Yes,
I have
that's heavy.
banded.
So yours
I
is
have
medium.
band-
So you would roll a straight dexterity test, just so you know if you want to climb.
I have banded mail.
Okay. Yeah. So you would roll a straight dexterity check.
Yeah, my dex isn't all that great.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm just so everybody knows the mechanic. If you're wearing light armor, then you can you roll with the bonus. If you're not wearing any armor at all, you can climb up. So who's doing what?
I'm just climbing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll
So
climb.
that-
I'll climb with Muda.
And I'll take the armored guys one at a time.
All right. And everybody's gonna kind of just like gather up on that little cliff.
Yeah.
I guess.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the
Mhm.
+1 you gave me, I made it. I had a 3.
Nice. But well, Mood has got a climb skill, right? You don't have to roll at all. You can. I forgot you're for a learner. Anybody who's like a thief or whatever can automatically make it, which would include, I guess, Pinesta. But no, you don't have to. climb,
Brickyard
right?
is going to
No, I don't have climb.
also ask. She wants to ask Callista if she has any type of spells that would assist in freezing those creatures in place or anything like that.
Yes, I have spells that can do a variety of things of that nature.
Well, once we all gather up there, we will make the best plan. Maybe yourself and Pinesta can do something to either charm them over or freeze them in place, but we'll make our plans when we reach the top, all of us.
So, you all are really going to make me climb this wall?
Well, you can also wait on Pinesta. She can come back and get you on the carpet.
Well, I guess climbing would be the simplest way to do this all.
It would be a new experience for you. You could share with your family when you return home.
Yes, I suppose that's true. All right. Gilmore, you stay here and take care of the animals, please.
Yeah, Basil is going to ask his entourage to stay and guard Calesta's entourage.
And Bryn will guard your entourage. So we got
So
a lot of
everyone's
entourage
covered.
guardings going on. Yeah.
So Brent
an
doesn't
army down
get a
below.
ride.
There's basically a second party down there. There's enough people to be a second replacement party. So yeah, you can do that. You can if everybody's being quiet, you just kind of take your time and get up onto the ledge. We'll put you up there. It's not particularly wide. It's like, it starts narrow and gets, but it's wide enough that everybody's kind of, it wouldn't be comfortable to like walk in front of each other and stuff, but you can all be gathered up there. So as described, I will do it again. So basically you're looking at it starts off a little bit more narrow, but then it opens up to like a 15-foot wide and also 15-foot tall. So it's like a box basically, deep, wide, and tall area that has kind of like a door frame, but no door there. And then beyond that, there's I'm just going to tell you the whole size of the room. You can basically see it. There's a 30-foot wide by about 60-foot deep room. At the very end of that room, on the right and the left side, you see what are likely doorways. So they look unusual. Don't have any handles or anything on them, but you see a box on the wall next to each one, and you with some blinking lights, and you see big metal slabs, which are likely doors. In the center of the room, standing there, just kind of staring at the walls and the floor or whatever, are 10 of these creatures. They're as described, with the mane of fur and Pinesta has seen probably drawings or pictures of them or whatever. They are armed with swords, but as you're kind of peeking in there, they don't seem to notice you. They're just kind of staring at the floor, at the walls, whatever. And in the chamber itself, like once in that 30 by 60 chamber, the ceiling in there is 30 foot tall. All of these creatures have these metal bands. It's a dull metal. And in fact, you can't really tell unless you come up and check them, but from what you can see from the distance, the metal of the bands on their forehead almost looks similar to the metal of the place itself. Like all the metal here is dull gray. Except with differences, the bands have these gems in them, 5 of them, and then they are lighting up in order from red, orange, yellow, green, and blue. And then it starts over again.
Yep.
And there's 10 of these guys.
Before we continue real quick, Daniel, I just want to let you know, Rascal, my familiar, is in his cage down with Vamore.
Okay. Yeah, make sure they protect your. You don't want to feel your die. Yeah. So they're just kind of standing there. They don't seem to be making any kind of notice to you. As you're peeking in there, making your plan. What is your plan?
Vanessa, I believe maybe you and Callista, is there something y'all can do to either hypnotize, charm, or suspend, paralyze, whatever these, maybe most of these creatures? Because I think once we enter the cave and a barrier, there's going to be an alarm go off to alert them to intruders.
I agree. I can certainly try. I can cast Paralyze on them. They do get a save, but I can try.
Okay, you're gonna step in the doorway and cast a spell. Fair enough.
Yes. I don't have to get that close. It's
Like I'm able to see him, right?
yep.
Okay.
180 feet the range.
You're gonna get on the flying carpet and fly back 179 feet.
Exactly. Hey, I haven't
This is-
survived
this is-
this.
this- That's right. That's how you survive. That's fine. So you peek in there. I mean, you guys have been staring in there. They haven't moved at all. So you're able to cast. Let me just see what it's just a regular sorcery save.
Yeah, let me make sure there's not a modification. If they have willpower, it can be modified by willpower.
Okay, and I mean it's an area effect, right? So they'll all get hit by it.
It says 20 by 20. Yes.
You know what? We'll say they're all in the same area. They're gathered together. I mean, it's a big room, but we'll just say they're gathered together because I'm so nice. I'm just
Okay.
gonna roll one save, or do you want me to roll for each of them?
No, I like all at once, all or nothing.
All right. Okay. You cast a spell upon them. They don't. Not moving.
That's what they weren't moving before.
Yes, I did.
So yeah, I was looking at break and just kind of. I cast it. They're not moving, but they weren't moving.
I'll walk in.
Lester, do you have some type of backup in case that they're not affected?
I have a backup. I'm pretty sure it'll work.
I'll
Oh,
walk
okay.
in.
Hold on. You can only affect twice as many hit dice as you have caster levels. So 14 hit dice. Okay.
Oh yes, that's also true. Yeah.
Yes,
forgot
makes
that
a big difference. That's an important factor when there's 10 of them.
Oh, did I forget to mention that? Sorry.
Yes, you might have. Well, they don't seem to be moving.
I always do forget that though, so it's good that you.
Oh, Pinesta. Well, you don't normally have this many creatures all at once. This is unusual. Okay, they seem to be standing still. What would you like to do?
Do you want me to walk in?
Well, let's see what the young fair Callista. What do you have to offer? You say.
Oh, you want me to do something right now? I mean,
Well, I want you to
They're not
tell us
moving.
what you can do.
like I have things to hold them in place. I could also just light them all on fire, I guess. But you said you wanted to try and do this and take them alive, so
Well, we don't want to draw that much attention quite yet with some type of a large amount of flame, of course.
Plus, if it does work and they're all held somehow, I want Muda to be able to take off the thing. Since he didn't get to before, he can take off the headband.
Oh, now you want me to do it? Okay.
You had to bring it up, didn't you?
Yes. Okay. I will go do it now.
Oh, not yet.
Oh, not yet. I will carefully and quietly go do it now.
Are you going to kind of spell Callista, or are you going to let Muda go and do his thing?
I mean, I think unless I see them move, there's no reason for me to do a spell right now.
Hold on before you rush into this. Muda, if you were to sneak up to one of them,
Yes.
once you remove the headband,
Yes.
all the other ones may notice you.
Okay.
So it may not be a very good plan.
I don't.
It would be a certain death.
plan on staying there if they all notice me. I
Uh,
plan on
Should be the
running.
one to get to do it. That's all. I wasn't saying he has to do it right this second.
I volunteer to go.
I'd say we're ready for battle as if they're unaffected and prepare for a melee combat.
I changed my mind. I am going to cast a spell. I'm going to Callista is going to cast Shield upon herself.
Okay. Okay, yeah, so they're standing there. How long are they paralyzed for? As this conversation going on?
See, this is
More turns, isn't it?
Basil puts on
Yes.
his helmet, so he looks like that on the, on that picture, and he grabs his shield, the small
Nice.
shield, and takes out his sword and says, "I will fight defensively."
okay.
That ought to give us a little time. If I'm overwhelmed or if they focus on me, that's your opportunity to attack them.
And I bow and start backing into the room, and I say a little prayer. Rel, help us not to be stupid. And I slowly keep turning as I walk in.
You are sneaking silently. What level are
Yes.
you? Or, sorry, it's not called that.
I am level 6.
All right. Yes, it's called something else. Move silently. Like it isn't every other. only in DCC is it called sneak silently. Yeah, you move right up to one of them. It doesn't seem to notice you. It's holding it's holding it down. The
Yes.
sword is kind of staring at the floor. It's
Okay.
like, are you going to the very first one, the closest to the door, or are you going deeper into one that's further away? Like, which one would you like
I'm going to
to
go to the one that's closest to the door,
Okay.
and then I'm going to look back at Basil, and then I'm going to roll my eyes, and then I'm going to go to the furthest one, and then I'm going to pick up the headband from that one.
Oh, the furthest one in. Okay, nice. That's the way to do it.
Yes.
All right, you can do that. Go ahead and make a test of strength because you grab it and it doesn't immediately come off.
God,
It is pretty firmly stuck to its head.
how did I know? Yes.
You did. Yeah, you grab this thing and it's a little stuck, and you see its eyes start to like perk up a bit. And you go, "Rap,"
Yep. And I'm out of there.
and you run. Okay. Roll
Oh
a
my
percentile die.
Roll a percentile.
Sure.
Okay.
Why not? Okay.
46.
All right. It collapses to the ground.
Yes.
Oh. Let me just see. Trying to decide. So you don't make it. This is what DCC is good. I'd be like, make a luck check.
Make a luck check?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to see if it would scream out because you did a lot of damage to it by ripping the thing off its head. You think because blood's dripping down, but then again, no, it doesn't. It just collapses. All right, so let me just make another quick check to see if anything else is alerted since you run out. Nope, you are pretty slight. As you start to run out, you notice that a couple in the back kind of like shake their heads and they look up, but you're out there. They don't get a move on you.
Okay.
And as they stand up, they go. They raise their war clubs. Well, and then as it raises its war club, 2, 3, 4 other ones do as well. But the first 4 that are in the door, the first 4 in the doorway seem to be frozen. They're like they were before. But 5 in total come to wakenness, and they scream out, and as they see, they're all kind of like, as they see Muda just runs out the door quickly, and
Basil?
they seem like they're pretty pissed off.
Show us that
Basil-
archery skill, Basil.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's do this. What are we gonna do? I'm just gonna go down the line because this is not nobody had a bow for in ready shooter, so we'll go right into straight initiative. Callista, what's your plan?
Spell.
Okay, how about Beal? Keeping in mind that you guys are on this ledge outside, so if you want to melee these things, you're gonna have to run into the room, or you can stand
Yeah.
outside on a ledge and be hit, possibly be hit by them. That's also an option. What's Spiel want to do?
He's gonna pull his hammer and say, "This is not how I wanted to start, but we've reached a point where apparently it's them or us." And then he moves forward away from the ledge, moves inward
Into the room
to try
okay.
and protect the group. Yeah.
You got a melee.
If I can get there, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You can. You're not that far away. Brickhild, what's your plan?
She wants to step, just inside, like, off of the ledge area, but step about 5 foot in the cave and set her spear. So, like, if they charge and get to them first, she'll have her spear set.
Makes sense. How about Basil?
Basil is going to move inward, try to position the battle so that it would be away from the ledge and well into the room. So as he saw Muda running back, he's moving forward to basically cover his retreat.
Makes sense.
And he's fighting defensively or conservatively.
Nice. Uda, what's your plan?
I'm
We're assuming that
stowing
before
the
the round
start.
starts. I'm sorry. We're assuming that you got past back into the entrance, so that you're now behind the. You made that other test.
I'm stowing the circlet.
Oh, you took. Yeah, of course you kept it. Why would you?
Yep.
And how about Panesta?
Panista would be ready with her boomerang if they run out. Missile.
Okay, so you're gonna stand in the back. Okay, fair enough.
Mhm.
Cool. Let's Crystal roll initiative. They got it too. Oh, you guys go first. Okay, so that's good though. So the fighters move in and essentially blocking the doorway with Brickhild as well, with the spear kind of slightly behind to hold the thing. So basically, you guys are holding the line, so they actually can't get out to knock people off the cliff. I did. Ever since I pushed you in that one pit, everybody's paranoid. Okay, so yeah, you're gonna move in. So Malay, right? Malay's first. Yeah, Malay. Bale. It's a charging Malay, so that's why you're gonna get to go before movement.
Okay.
Yeah. So good.
So it should be.
Oh, that's very good. Okay.
Is it blue? Oh,
I don't know, but it's 11 points, which is a lot. It now costs 1.
yeah. It was 1-6, and it was a 6 and a 1 on the dice.
Nice. All right. 11 points damage. You smack this thing very hard. It does not go down. If you get to it, you get more than one attack. You must.
Hold on just a second. I want to make
3-2?
sure that's correct. Oh, I am 3-2.
You're 3-2, or are you 2-2?
It
2-1?
says it's 3-2 because I'm a grand master or whatever it is.
Oh, okay. So then you are. So then you get one attack this round, then 2 the next round.
But it says for damage, it says +2 and then +2 again. And I know the damage for the weapon is +2.
Right. Well, it's probably your strength or being a master or whatever.
Oh, it is my strength. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right,
the weapon master will give you a +1 to damage also.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, actually, so you should get. I think if you're a grandmaster, you can get +2. Or is the additional bonus
Yeah.
to hit?
So mastery gives you 1, and grand mastery gives you 1 extra. So,
Yes, you should be
so that's-
+2 for that. Yeah.
Okay. So it's +2 for that and then +2 for the strength. Got it.
Yep.
Okay. So I get to attack again, right?
No, if you're 3-2,
No.
you get 1 this round, then 2
It's
next round.
1, then 2. Okay. All right. So I bash
Yep.
him. Boom.
Nice, that's a good hit. Actually, I'm gonna move these guys down here to make it easier for me. All right. Let the melee begin. Sorry, I think now
Basil?
it's Basil.
Yeah, Basil, fighting conservatively, attacks with his longsword.
Okay.
And does 4 points of damage, hitting
Nice.
AC 1
Yep.
on that same creature.
Okay, sure. You guys charge in and attack this this one guy. That almost kills him, but not quite. Nobody else was Malayan, right? Well, You're going to go before the creatures automatically, Brigil, but the spell will happen first because they have to move to you for that to happen. So the magic will happen next, which is Celesta. You're not using the boomerang unless they come out, right? Because basically now you got a line of fighters in front of you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right,
I'm
yeah.
blocked. Yep.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead. Spell, sorry.
No, it's your turn. Callista takes out a small piece of iron from her pocket, and she begins to chant some magical words upon it, and it becomes like this magical band. And she says a magic word as she throws her hand forward and casts Hold Person on these animals, on 4 of them.
Okay. Hold person. They get a
Affects
saving throw,
humanoids,
right? Sorcery.
So, yes.
Okay. And it's not modified, right? Because you're doing 4 of them.
Yeah, because I'm doing 4 of them, it's not modified.
It's a straight old sorcery save. Okay. And that doesn't have a hit die limit. It's just 4
It
creatures.
says they also have to be within a 10-foot radius of the spell's primary target.
I mean, they're all running up, so I think that's fine. So we'll say that's probably fine. They were charging forward.
Okay.
I just need to let me just roll it first because I might roll. Let's look up their saving throw again. Ooh. Probably not gonna work. Saving throw.
This one says specifically each target is allowed a sorcery saving throw.
Right. Okay. So first one. Trying to find the monster. Sorry.
Starting with the closest one.
Oh, there it is. I had it open already. That's the reason why. Okay. So this one's held. Next one. It's held. Next one. Held. And last one. Held. Okay. 4 of them are held. The the last one and the only one that's not held currently charges forward and gets a spear in their face before anything happens. So go ahead with the spear attack.
Ooh, man, that is going to do 14 points of damage. Roll 2 6s and then
Ooh.
+2 for modifier. So, yep.
Nice. Is
This
that from
was
the
actually
set
the
spear?
Yep, that's the
Yeah.
set spear.
Nice.
Yeah, this was the beefiest one, so it did not kill him, but he's very, very hurt. And I mean, you actually have the spear between the 2 fighters in the front, so it's actually not going to attack you. It's attacking one of the 2 fighters.
I'm kind of holding it there, going, "Finish it off,
Yeah.
Bale."
Right. It's like,
Not touchy.
all right. So I'm just gonna roll. Even will be they'll go after Basil, and Odd will go after Bale. Get Odd. So it's actually attacking Bale. 17 on the die.
That's probably going to hit me.
That's gonna hit you, I'm sure.
My armor class is 4.
Oh yeah, that hits 0. Okay, it's actually fighting with a broadsword. Sword. Is that even a weapon in here? Probably is, right? Oh, long or broad. There we go. I mean, it says it fights savagely, so I'm gonna say it's using 2 hands. Okay, 6 plus 1 because it does the weapon damage plus 1, so 7 points of damage with a double slice with a Celtic broadsword across Bale. As it yaps and yells violently, and its little band is going.
How many points again? Sorry.
7.
Okay.
I'm imagining Knight Rider.
It's exactly like Knight Rider. All right, so that then ends that round, and there is currently of the 10 creatures in here, 1 is laying on the ground. The one that got the band ripped off. 8 of them are held, and 1 is not. Is that right? 8 held. 4 and 4. Yep. So 8 are held, and then 1 is still fighting but very injured. So what would you like to do? Go, let's start.
Caleska's going to take out her crossbow, but she won't use it unless there's like an obvious shot she can make. She's not going to like fire into the party.
Yeah, it'd be very difficult at this point with them behind you. But yeah, you can arm yourself with the crossbow. Bale, you're right there with a speared beast man.
Yeah. So I've got a couple of them in front of me that are injured pretty bad. So the question I have is, because I've never had a character that's capable of multiple attacks in a round, am I allowed to target those at different, or do they
Yes.
have to be all against the same guy?
You can target them at different things if they're near each other, and they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and if you hit one and kill it, let's say in the first blow, then you don't lose your second attack, but you'll have to do it in the second phase.
okay. So the one that.
Okay, but you're gonna do melee? We're just doing general.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. My
No, it's
apologies.
okay.
Yes.
We'll deal with the logistics when it comes to it. But yes, you can definitely target them. Okay, so melee for you. How about Breakhild?
Yeah, 2 spear attacks and the one I got speared, so melee.
Okay. Melee. And how about Basil?
Melee.
All right. Muda, you got your little band stowed.
Range hold.
Okay. And Vanessa?
Yep, same. The boomerang.
All right, yeah, you're all pulling out your bows just in case. All right, cool. Let's roll initiative, Crystal. They got a 4. Oof. Okay, it's gonna get to go first. I'm just gonna say it's already attacking. Well, that's who's gonna stay on. So it tries to swipe at you again with the sword, since it seems like it was successful the first time. Ooh, it rolled the same thing again. Yeah, it hit you again with the sword. I hit you with sword. 6 points of damage that time.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually talk. They don't have a language. So yeah, it's swinging the sword like it's swinging it, but not with skill like you'd swing a sword. It's swinging it like a club. It's literally just hacking at you with a sword. But because of just its sheer strength and ferocity, it beats through your armor and does 6 points damage. So melee, Bell, this guy just chopped you.
All right. So we're gonna try to split the attacks. I'm gonna try and bash the guy in front of me, and then bash the guy who's hanging off the edge of Breakhild's spear.
Same guy.
Oh, is it?
Yep, there is another injured person, but it's not that guy. The other injured guy is the first guy that charged forward and attacked you, and you attacked.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's take care of the one that's on Breakhild's spear first, and then we'll go for the other guy. So, the first one. Bam.
Oh my god. -7.
Yes.
What do you need to roll to get that? It's not even a 20.
I rolled a 17.
You have holy crap. That's good. All right, so
I'm assuming those are all correct. The sheet figured it out for me. It's got an attack modifier of 3. Attack modifier 3 plus 1 for strength. That's 4, and then 2 for being a grandmaster, I think.
Yeah, so, and I think the other 6 that they showed there is the because your level basically, however it calculates it, it's fine.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's correct, but that's a hell of a hit.
Yes,
yeah, you smack
I can say a straight 17 will hit -3 from me. Just a straight 17 on a die.
Yeah. Oh wow! So, holy crap! Okay, yeah, you guys are badass. Okay, yeah, that kills him. And you can attack the other one, but it'll go second phase.
Okay.
But go ahead. You can describe. That was the one who's on the spear.
Yeah. So he just, as it's hanging off, and he's been cut twice now, and you hear him just growl, and he just places this damn near perfect strike right into his forehead, and you just hear a crunch. Yeah. And the guy goes limp, and I'm assuming just slides off of the end of the spear.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Blow pushes him back.
And actually, when you hit him in the head like that and you crunch, you actually hear some shattering. And when he falls, his little gem thing is no longer lit up. You can see that it's broken. You smashed it. Okay, you're gonna go again second phase. So that means that before then, if you everybody else is held at this point, so we don't even really have to do initiative. To be honest with you, I mean, you were gonna smack that guy, but he's held, so it's kill.
What about Breakhild?
No, but I mean, you could do. Nobody else is up, is what I'm saying. So we don't have to go into initiative. You can do whatever you want.
Nice.
Sorry if that's clear. You basically there was only one guy that was not held by a spell, and it was that guy that just died.
Okay, I'm
Oh,
sorry. I
So
thought there was one
So
more.
no, there is one more that's injured because Russian asked about injured, but that injured one is held. So
I did. Okay.
yeah, you're more than welcome to stab them at your leisure if that's your plan, because they are all held.
Let's go around and take that
They're all held,
headband
yes.
off on all of them.
Yeah. I grabbed the other one that I attacked first by the neck, and I look over at the others and I say, "What do we do with them?"
He's like this.
West.
Yeah, Brickiel will look towards Basile and go, yes, remove the headbands.
Yeah, he nods and he goes to each one of them, and then tries to take them off.
Okay. I mean, it requires a test of strength, but at the same time, it's like there's 5 of you there, and one of you will get it. So I'm not going to make a roll. However, I do need to roll to see whether or not, because they might actually die. So let's see.
Callista lets everyone else try that because she has a strength of 8.
That's fine. I mean, I don't think it's a problem. I mean, between all of the characters, there's no way
same.
you're not going to have a chance. Okay, first guy that you tear it off. Well, he's frozen. You see his eyes roll back, and he collapses to the ground. Actually, dead. Killed that guy.
So we're killing them.
How about we just kill them first and be merciful about it?
I don't know. That looked like it may have hurt less than my hammer to the head. Try another one and see if it dies too. Maybe it was just
Go
that.
around doing that.
Okay. Wow. Okay. This one again. You see that it's like, but it collapses to the ground, and you can see that it's still like I mean, it's because it's held. It's not like it's. You can see it's still breathing. It's breathing like, and its eyes are just staring straight forward. So it does not look like it's dead. First one dead. Second one not dead.
Do the headbands stop glowing once he removes them?
They do not.
Hmm.
Let me just make sure of that. I don't think.
Callista would like to examine one of these headbands when they get it off. See if she can make anything of it, being that she's a magician.
Basil tosses one to Callista.
Okay.
Just do not put it on, of course.
Oh, really? Well, okay, princess.
I mean, I would hate to see you collapse to the floor in agony.
Exactly this guy.
The aliens are contacting us.
Yeah, I think the headband's talking to you.
Exactly. Okay,
It's
so
saying, "Put me on."
you notice that they kind of go around like this, and where the temples would be, there are these like short a series of wires, like metal wire, of copper and electrum and gold, but not like a lot to be valuable. You've never seen anything like this before in your life. It is 100% like alien technology.
There seems to be metals that go into their heads. Perhaps this could be how they're being controlled. I can't speak for exactly how that's happening, or even if we can safely remove these without harming their brains.
Well, we are not able to communicate with them anyway. They do not speak any of our languages, and I don't believe we can speak theirs.
I'm not too concerned about their safety at all. I just don't want to kill them outright, but if it would free them from it with a little pain, I suppose that's a fair trade. And he goes to the next one and yanks it out.
If they're innocent, I understand, but at this point, it becomes more of a mercy thing.
That one doesn't die either, but same thing. It falls to the ground. You can see its eyes are glazed over, and it's still breathing, but it seems to be basically completely out of it. I mean, you guys are high enough level and you've been around enough stuff that you could tell that this is obviously some kind of massive trauma. Whether or not if they'll ever recover from it, you're not 100% sure, but it definitely is not. It didn't kill them. But with the one guy, it 100% killed him. And also, even the one that Muda originally pulled it off of is in that same kind of catatonic state. So kind of a coma-ish state. I would say that you don't know enough about this, though, to know whether or not it's like you're just putting them in comas or if they will eventually wake up. It's hard to know.
The main thing we need to do, Bale, if you will help me, and Basile, we need to disarm them and take all their arms in case they do come back to their senses. We do not want them coming up behind us and taking us out.
Absolutely. We could, throw the weapons down the cliff.
Exactly.
Well,
you've got
for
people down there to
holding
recover them.
Yeah.
My spell will hold for about an hour. I don't know Nesta's magic, of course.
About an hour, right?
Yank.
Yeah.
Another one.
I wonder still if it's not the greater.
Doesn't kill them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we just
You're just
spend
gonna
that
keep going,
time.
right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna roll on all of them then to see if you kill any other ones.
I wonder still if it's not the greater mercy to go ahead and, as unfortunate as it may be,
Yeah, no.
put them out of their misery.
As far as you can tell at this point, once you get them all removed, one is dead with a smashed one that Bale killed, and one died when you removed that was already very injured, died when you ripped it out of its head. All the other ones, so the other 8 are still alive, but in some kind of like catatonic state once you pull them off. And the only one of the headbands that's not flashing still is the one that was smashed with the hammer.
What should we do with the flashing headband?
You have a sack, Callista, or something you can put them in and keep them for maybe if we want to take them.
Yes, I do. I have a small sack. I'm pretty sure I do. Yeah, I do.
Are they dangerous?
I mean, I don't know. I'll have to do more. I would have to do more research.
Why don't you put one on and we'll see?
Interesting suggestion. Why don't you?
Well, I forgot. You already have a helm on. You do not need a headband.
Yeah. Well, my concern is that what if it explodes like some sort of a magical, I don't know. You're a mage of some sort.
Well,
You know
we
how
could
volatile these things are.
We can throw the sack of them down to the party outside also and tell them to just keep them there and camp and stay away from them with the weapons that we throw down.
Did you say that I would have realized that they weren't that valuable, Daniel?
Yeah, they're not particularly valuable. I mean, they have little gemstones in them, but they seem to be glowing, with some kind of magic or technology, maybe alien technology like Atlantean or something. You're not sure. It's definitely something you've never seen before. I mean, they're probably a curio, but they're not like valuable in the sense that like they've got metals. You couldn't melt them down or pull the gems out and sell them. They wouldn't be worth much. But as what they are, they're probably valuable because they're unique and different.
Well, if you're thinking of keeping them for any kind of profit, there's not much here worth value. The gems are fairly small, and whatever gold is here is not even enough to make a coin.
No, my idea was not for the profit of what metals they have. It would be for taking them back for research. Maybe someone in Khromarium would want to research them.
Well,
You and I are similar mind on that.
I don't know about you, but I would rather have them destroyed. I hate to think them used again to enslave some other person.
Well, if we destroy them, we'll learn nothing of them. Of them, it'd be much better to take them back and have them studied.
Do you truly need the knowledge to enslave others?
Well, we may be able to learn how to prevent this from happening to others, or we may be able to learn how to remove these safely in the future.
Very well, I will leave it up to you then.
Yes, Callista has good thoughts there. I agree with her.
Don't meddle in the affairs of finger wigglers, my friend.
I
Celeste-
concur, Bale.
Caleska will grab like even the smashed one. She'll put all of them in a sack, and then she'll just like tie the sack to her rope, and she'll like lower it down to the ground.
It's 200 feet down.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well,
Yeah. So unless you have 200 feet of rope, then I won't do that.
yeah. No,
I mean, you
have
can
to
lower
keep
it down
it.
50 foot to a ledge. There's ledges
could
that go up and
fly
down
it.
the side.
I could fly
Fly
it
it
down.
down. That's the.
Yep, I was
Yeah.
gonna say I could fly it down. That's the
Yeah, if you
easiest
want to.
way. Look
I
at
feel like we gotta start tipping her.
that.
That's fine. Every time you use magic carpet, all it does is take time.
That's right.
Time is a valuable quantity.
It's
Yeah, you can
uber
fly down with
convenient.
this
Well, I
rope.
don't have
Yeah.
to fly it down. Whatever you guys want.
Yeah, I'll just keep up with these on me for now. I don't want to take too long here. I have a spell protecting me. I would like for us to get further with Port
Well, I agree, though. I think it would be best to send them down because what if Basile and them are right? What if they have some effects on us going on in further? We do not need them with us.
Well, let's just leave them by the cave exit then.
Vanessa, it will not take you but a moment to fly them down, please.
Okay. Of course.
I can show you.
Exactly.
Yes.
You hear the
Yep,
song?
yep.
The
I
song
hear the
plays.
song.
Just a fun
Yep.
yeah, come back up. They're still the guys are still laying on the ground drooling. The party's still there. This space is lit with that weird kind of greenish light. As you look up, by the way, I guess now you're standing in here for a bit of time. I guess Muda would be like since Vanessa left, will be the only one that was experienced it and still alive. You notice that the panels in this high, like 30-foot high ceiling, are similar to the temple that you had seen before. They're those kind of flat panels that seem to be projecting light, except in the temple with the snake temple, they were pure, beautiful white light and consistent. This seems to be like greenish, and they turn off and on, and they kind of flicker. But it's some kind of magical light in here, essentially. Also, when you walk down, because I mean you're waiting in a room for 10 minutes while she's moving stuff around. When you walk down to those doors to take a look at them, as soon as you walk near them, they open. The doors to the back of the room. They're 15-foot square, and when you walk near them, they go up into the ceiling, and you're looking down into what are essentially pretty steep shafts. I guess the best way to say it. You could walk them, but they're tricky. Like you're gonna have to go very slow or use rope or something if you want to maneuver through these things. But they're basically like these like rounded tunnels, and there's one on either side. I think they both go up. Let me just make sure. I looked at the map. One might go down. So this is all very simple. So I figured I didn't need to use Roll20. Maybe it would be easier with Roll20. So there's basically two ways out here, left and right. And oh yeah, they both descend. It's very nice. One of them descends east and bends to the west after a little bit, and the other one descends to the west and bends to the east.
Do they have
Yeah.
some type of light source on them, or?
In the ceilings, they have that same kind of like strips of light and that kind of greenish light. And actually, in these tunnels, they're not flickering; they're just kind of a steady green light. So yeah, they're lit. And they look like they go down. Well, they go down about 20, 30 feet, and then they bank. So you don't know which one. You don't know what happens after that point. Long passageways. They're actually not metal. They're stone. They're 15 foot in diameter, and they're angled anywhere between 25 and 45 degrees. So they're. Let's see. It says there's some cracks, and you can see some dripping of water through some of them. Let's see. And if you have climbing gear like rope or whatever, you're totally fine. If you don't want to use a rope or spikes or whatever, you'll need to make dexterity checks to climb up and down without slipping. It's kind of a steep angle. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You don't see any more of these creatures. You just basically see 2 passageways. And then you hear that music playing, and Vanessa flies back in.
I kind of went blank there for a second, Daniel. You said that like there were 2 tunnels and one of them was at a really steep incline.
They both are.
Oh, okay.
They're both at steep inclines. 25 to 45 degrees. I mean, 45-degree incline is pretty steep. It's not impossible, but essentially the way the rule is, it's if you have any kind of climbing skill, like a barbarian or a thief or something, you don't have to make any check. You just do it. If you are a not with that ability, you need to use rope or something. I mean, you'll know this by looking at it. Otherwise, you'll need to make a dexterity check not to like trip because it's pretty steep. But essentially, you've got one to the east and one to the west, and they both go down.
Okay.
They go down and then they turn. Neither one. It's like that Robert Frost poem. They both look the same. So,
Nesta, would it be best maybe you fly on your carpet just to the corners of each and see what you can see from there?
Sure. I can absolutely. I will do that. If the music doesn't alert the creatures.
You don't use it to alert anybody.
Absolutely, though. Yes,
Okay.
Breakhill, I will do that.
Oh, you definitely can do that. Yeah. So you jump on the carpet, which is, of course, obviously you don't have to roll anything to fly on that. And you fly down. Like I say, one of them goes. The one on the east, which is basically the right, goes down to a bit, and then it banks to the left, to the west. So they kind of swerve a little bit. The other one it goes, and when you look down, you can see that it continues down another like 30 or 40 feet, and then it ends in a similar style door to the one that that opened up for you to come into this passageway. It's closed though.
Okay.
Yeah. If you fly back up and check the other way, it's pretty much the same thing. I mean, the distances are a little bit different, but
they end indoors.
For all intents and purposes, they both go down. They turn. Yeah. If you go one way, it goes 160 feet, and if you go the other way, it goes 60. So it's much shorter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they both end indoors, and there's nothing obviously remarkable at either door.
That's right.
Just from where I can see it.
Right.
Okay.
Right. The one to the east is the shorter one. It goes down about 40 foot, then bends and goes 20 foot to a door. The one to the west goes about 100 foot, then bends, then goes 60 foot to a door.
Okay. I go back and I'll say, we have doors. We have our choice. The east is a shorter tunnel. They both bend, but the east is definitely the shorter way. The west, about 160 feet. But they both end indoors, which I did not stop at because I did not have my thief there with me to check for traps and that. What do you think? Longer or shorter? Those are your choices.
Oh, my random thought would be, why don't we just sort out the longest passage first? But that's my thought.
I like the way you think, Brighild. I was thinking that myself.
Agreed. Let's go.
Okay. So, I mean, again, you guys have rope and stuff. If you want to utilize that, then we won't need to bother with any checks. We'll just go a little bit slower, which is not really a big deal. In fact, since you have a flying carpet.
Yep, I do.
You can probably just stand on the flying carpet holding. No, but you have plenty. I mean, it's steep, but it's, 25 degrees. I mean, a 45-degree slope is pretty steep, but I mean, it's not. With some care, you'll be able to walk down. All right, so you move down to the door at the end of the longer corridor. This is. Oh, cool. All right, good. As you approach the door, when you get about 5 or 6 feet away from it, you can see that there's one of these like square boxes on the wall with these 9 symbols, just like there was in the other room. But just like in the other room, as soon as you come close to the door to even look for traps or whatever, it just opens. And you're looking into a room. This is a round room. This round 80-foot diameter chamber with a domed 40-foot ceiling. 3 large cylinders of space within, each a 15-foot in diameter and 18 feet high. Each is composed of a dense material that seems it's not metal because you can tell because there's metal on the top of it, but it's kind of like a dull looking. Your first guess without touching it would be some kind of hardened leather. And on about, I guess, almost halfway up the height of it, there is one of those panels like you've seen by the doors, except this one does the buttons aren't lit up. Each of the cylinders has a big crack in it, and there's oily residue dripping out. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so that makes sense. So basically, you're looking into a round room. So as you're looking in, you've got 2 cylinders and then another one in the back. They're tall. I mean, they're huge. They look like they're made out of some kind of like hardened leather, gray hardened leather, with metal, almost like a cap on top, almost like a scroll case is what they look like. But in every case, they have that kind of weird box with the buttons on it. And these buttons are not lit up, unlike the ones by the doors. And all of them have a big crack in them, and all of them are dripping oil. In addition to that, when you come into the room, like if you come in to take a look, literally, like if you turn this way, there's another door right next to you. So like they're both in the same wall, basically. They're right next to each other. The one you came in and the other one. So and of course, because of the way the doors work, as soon as you step in the room, the other door opens up as well. And that also goes down a slope. So you've got, it almost looks like a ball with like 2 hallways coming into it.
Have any of you have any knowledge of maybe what that possibly is leaking from these things?
They certainly are fascinating for sure, Callista will say as she goes to look at them.
Okay. Yeah. So you walk up to the things. Roll d6 for me.
All right, hold on. Let me see if I can get a 1. Oh, I didn't get a 1.
Oh, that's good because you're not surprised then. So as you approach the first cylinder, you hear a scurrying sound and 12 black centipedes about 2.5 feet long come scurrying from behind one of the things towards you. They seem to have been eating the oily juice, and frankly, you probably are better tasting, so they charge at you. But you're not surprised. So what does everybody want to do? We'll start with.
Is my shield still activated?
How long does it last?
2 turns.
No,
Okay.
because you would have traveled further than you would be able to. You can only move 60 foot a turn going down those things because it's slow.
Okay.
Yeah. So what would you like to do?
I'm gonna do spell.
Okay. How about Bale? You see these like you're all standing there looking at these things, and the brave magician moves forward, and then these centipedes charge out at her.
Yeah, I'm gonna step forward in melee.
Okay. Breakill?
Quick question: do they all appear like they're all charging straight towards Callista only, or some of them like breaking off towards us?
Um,
At this point,
I'm gonna say that it looks like they're all going towards her.
oh, if okay,
I-
yeah, if I, but
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
going
think
to
they're
move.
smart enough to know that you're all in the room. They're just going for the closest thing to them.
Yeah, I'm going to move and melee then.
Okay. Basil.
Yeah, Basil is gonna protect Callista.
All right, you're gonna charge forward. Okay. Muda. Giant centipedes. Your favorite.
Oh,
Oh, Mike, your mic is not working.
How's that? Can you hear me now?
There we go. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Ranged.
All right. Podesta.
am I still on my carpet?
Maybe. I guess so. I'm assuming you're gonna stay on.
Yeah, so she's up above the centipede, so she's gonna grab her boomerang, and if it looks like they're gonna be all aggressive, she'll start throwing it at them.
Oh yeah, they're
So missile.
definitely aggressive. I mean, they're
Mistletoe.
simple animals.
How many are there?
About a dozen,
Oh man.
which is less than a
A missile.
score. All right, Bale. Rush, roll initiative for the group. Got a 5.
I'm going
Easy.
over or below.
You want to roll higher, yeah, or equal to, because you probably have higher dex. Oh,
Yeah.
these things are pretty dexy. Oh, that's
Yeah,
no,
we're
that's
not going first.
all right. They charge foot. Ooh, Chris put so much work into this character. You are about to get swarmed by black centipedes. Because nobody else had a chance to move yet. The good thing is they're not very tough. So, what's your AC? Let's see what they need to hit you. That I can just look at that.
The 8. Because I got
8?
a dex. I got a
Okay,
good
so
dex.
they need 12. All right. All right. So there's 12 of them. So 1 miss. Oh. 2 miss. Ooh. 3 hit. Okay. 4 miss. 5 miss. I don't think they can all attack you because there's not enough room. I'm only going to 6 of them attack you. All right. So the 6th one hits you though, so you're going to get hit twice by the centipedes. They're like squirming over each other. They can't possibly all attack one person. That would be impossible. 2 hits you. The bite does a D2, so you get 2D2. So 1 and 1, so 2 points of damage. But this is the important part, as always. Make me 2 death poison saving throws.
Okay.
You do not want to fail this. That's for sure. Good. Ooh, okay. Well, failing one isn't the end of it all. All right, so you're going to take additional damage. A painful blood boiling sensation as the poison gets into your blood and does 7 more points of damage.
Ouch.
Yeah, and the rest of them are kind of crawling over, or maybe they didn't get to you fast enough or whatever. Because I don't think it's possible for 12 of them to attack you all at once. So I'm not going to do that. I'm getting soft in my old age, I guess. Okay, so party's turn. However, you did take damage, which means you're going to have to make if you want to keep that spell, you'll need to roll 3d6 under your casting. Right, that's what it is. No, under your con. Right. That was what it is. I think it's under your con. I'll look that up. We'll let people make attacks because Miss Millie goes first, anyways. So go ahead, Bale, and make an attack against the centipedes.
So first one is, damn it, gotta scroll down. Oh shit, bad roll.
That still hits actually, believe it or not. Oh, I just quit. Oh no, okay, hold on. My PDF crashed on me. But I believe that actually hits still. I think 8 is actually their AC. This is why I put bench just in case. Giant centipede, AC 9 actually. Oh, well that was a waste of damage. Yeah, dead. Use that big hammer to
Nice
smash a little bug.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. 1 centipede.
Well, you said giant, but you never really defined giant. So.
Oh, I did. I specifically said 2.5 feet long.
Oh, I missed that part. Sorry.
Well, which is still a lot. That's the reason why I'm only having 6 attacks.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't make sense for 12, 2.5 foot long centipedes to be able to get onto a person. That's why I said only. All right. So 1 step. Next melee attacker would be Breakhill, right? You were doing melee?
Yep. And it's page 139 on that concentration check. It's 3d6. And since she's a magician, it's against intelligence. And you add the damage total that you suffered also to your roll.
That's right.
Okay. Thanks.
And Brickhill is going to stumble in some oil. She rolls a 2 on the die and misses her spear attack.
All right. Spirit jams into the ground. Basil.
Basil attacks with, Basil has another longsword in his offhand, and he attacks. Let's see.
Hold on, you have 2 longswords?
Yeah, he's got 2 longswords. The first one misses. Second one,
Yeah.
that hits.
Oh, that definitely hits. Yeah, that kills one.
Okay. Next round, he gets to attack twice with the primary and once with the offhand.
Nice. Can you even use long? Are you sure you can use 2 long swords? I don't think that's right.
Yes, sir.
It's
I
fine for
checked.
this session, but okay.
Yep.
It doesn't feel right. I thought that offhand weapon had to be a short weapon, like a hand axe.
Yeah, weapon class 2, so 2
Oh,
long
weapon class
sword.
2. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. When longsword is weapon class 2. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay, good. Okay, that's all the melee. So then we go into missile. So Muda.
Well,
Nice.
That's an Act 20 in it.
yeah.
Oh, all right, crit. You know, we're gonna go ahead and roll a d6 to see what your crit does. If it's enough damage to kill 2, let you kill 2. And you are a
5.
thief type, right? Which is double damage,
Yep.
which would make it 10. So that's not. Yeah, we'll say we killed 2 with that.
Very
There were
nice.
2 crawling on top of each other. Yeah, because an awesome crit against
Yes.
a
Muda.
tiny thing with only 4 hit points. All right, yeah. So you shoot through. Your arrow goes through 2 of them.
Just call me 2 with 1 shot.
2 with 1 shot. It's like making a kebab.
Not bad for a
And,
servant.
Nice.
Exactly.
And Pinesta.
Yeah, I'll go for one. With my boomerang. Boomerang a centipede is going to be interesting.
Well, you never know. It's like a
Never
pile
know.
of centipedes, really.
Yeah, I'm just trying to hit something. That is a 16 on the dice, and I get bonus, plus 2, 18. So it's like a -3 armor class. Hits?
Yeah, it's
Okay. Okay. Making sure that you're sure there. So 3 plus 2 plus 5 points of damage.
okay. That's enough to kill one. All right, you've reduced their numbers to almost half. Okay, so we come around to Callista. Did you make that concentration check?
Callista screams in pain and did not make her concentration check.
Oh, okay.
It's 3d6, and you also have to add the damage that you took, and you have to get under attribute that
Right.
you primary in.
Right. Okay. Ouch. Right, so you lose that spell. And that is the end of that round. So they're going to. Everybody's moved forward now, so they might start to scatter a little bit. Actually, they might. But anyways, what's everybody going to do? Callista, what's your plan?
Try and run away.
Okay. The movement. Bale.
Melee.
Ready killed.
Yep, melee.
Okay. How about Basil? With the
Triple slash melee.
It's like a Ginsu.
It's like, welcome to Benihana's.
Muda.
Range.
Okay, and Panista.
Missile.
Okay, missile. Go ahead, Rush, and roll initiative. They got 2. Ah, nice. Okay. All right. I mean, you won initiative, and looks like we're pushing 11. So I'm just gonna say that you kill them. I mean, it seems almost impossible that you will not kill them. So if everybody just wants, we'll just go down. You guys can each describe how you smush one. All right, go ahead, Bell. He wants to roll anyways. Yes, you definitely smush one.
That should be 2, actually.
Yeah, 2 of them.
Yeah. So yeah, he just goes into a frenzy after hitting the first one, and he comes down one side, comes down the other side, and in total
that's
wipes
splashing.
3 of them out.
Nice.
And it tries to maneuver himself in front of
Callista.
yeah,
She's
Callista.
running away.
Yeah, because he saw that she got bit pretty good.
Yeah, how about Breakhield?
Yeah, Brickiel sees the heavily armored fighter with these 2 swords, swinging around, and it kind of makes her mad because sees all the attacks he's doing. So she takes her 2 spear attacks. We'll make sure I don't roll a natural 1. And yeah, she just slices through a couple of them as she looks over towards Basile.
Nice. All right, Basil. Let's see what you got.
Here's Basil. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, welcome to Benihana's, people.
1, 2, 3, done. All right. Well, by the time the missile weapon people get to go, there's basically just a whole bunch of chopped up centipedes on the ground.
That's fine.
And we're in a very strange room with dripping liquid. That otherwise seems it's very alien, but it seems unoccupied except by the party, and I think we'll leave us there.
And you said the centipedes were kind of covered in this slick oil too, or whatever.
Yeah, it looked like they were kind of like maybe growing in it or like eating it or like somehow they were in it. Yeah, yeah, just oily centipedes. Yeah, yeah, and they look quite large. You've probably never seen a centipede this big before. And the oil, let's see if it smells right. The oil actually smells kind of like like olive oil that's gone bad. Like it doesn't smell terrible, but it smells like a little off. And the centipedes seem to have been maybe growing in it. As you kind of explore around, you can see that maybe they had like bread in the juices that are that is the oil. And if you were to look around more, you'll see that there's actually like some cracks and stuff in the wall they may have originally come through, but there's no way they could fit through it now. They're all way too small.
Okay.
Yeah, giant centipedes. Cool. A mystery. All right, awesome, guys. We'll leave it there. And okay. Unless anybody else wants to say anything else.
Celeste crawls back to the party, her blood burning, and she says, I encountered poison like this one time before. The only way that I was able to get rid of it was by liking, commenting, and subscribing to Bandit's Outpost. It also helped to ring the future notification, the ring the bell to get future notifications on videos. See if I can put something up now.
Fantastic. All right, thanks, guys.